Warning, this episode has spoilers galore. We are talking about everything Star Wars with Rise of the Skywalker and the entire saga, so if you are not familiar with Star Wars or Rise of Skywalker, please do not listen.
And The Mandalorian.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Chit Chat with Cass. I am back with another Star Wars episode with my dad. Hello.
What's up?
So, of course, Rise of Skywalker just came out, so we had to conclude the saga with a final podcast episode. I have seen the movie twice.
I've seen it once.
So, you can take cues from my notes and whatnot. So some of you may have seen my video review, but we kind of just wanted to do our podcast episode and have like the discussion about everything with it. So, I guess let's just jump right in.
Let's do it.
So after the crawl, we pretty much start with Kylo Ren doing this massive murder scene, which is very visually pleasing.
Oh, it's beautiful.
But very just like, bam, and to the point.
It's very wicked, too. Some of those moves he does is pretty intense.
And I am hearing it suggested that this actually took place on Mustafar.
Now, see, I heard that too, but I had no clue of that when watching it.
No clue while watching it, but it was like in the books or whatever. Some people were suggesting that he found the Wayfinder in Vader's castle.
Oh, well, that would make sense.
Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about it. Do the dudes that he's killing in the opening look like the guys from Revenge of the Sith that you see on Mustafar?
Oh.
I don't know for sure.
I don't know
quote me
either.
on that. But some people were saying that it was on Mustafar. But it doesn't really matter because the opening sequence of this movie is so fast and like this point, extremely rushed.
Very.
If you will. But he is wanting to look for what I thought was a damn holocron.
That's what I thought it was.
It
in the
looks
theater.
like a holocron, but I don't even know if holocrons are canon anymore. Who knows? But it's a wayfinder, a Sith wayfinder. And he needs it to get the coordinates to Exegol, which is like a Sith planet.
Yes.
Sith temple planet thing.
Every time I hear it, I think popsicle.
Popsicle?
Except for it's an exicle.
Exegol. And so he finds it, and we're immediately rushing to Exegol. He's flying through the very difficult area and gets to the Sith planet. Just so, like, very quick at the start of this movie. And he walks into, like, the temple of sorts, and you get, like, little things here and there. There's, like, Snoke in a jar.
Yeah,
He
the whole
walks
cloning chambers. And
by Snoke's in a jar. And some other little Sithy dudes, assistants. And you get Palpatine immediately.
Yeah.
You get his voice immediately. And it's very temple-y with the massive statues, like, of Palpatine.
Yeah.
At least with a hooded person.
I think it's just all past Sith Lords. There's probably a Darth Bane in there someplace. And
Yeah. And so Palpatine is just, like, introduced as the one that's been behind it all. Because they didn't introduce that in the last movie, so they had to in the first 5 seconds of this one.
Yeah, which was, like, how? That was my big question about that part.
So rushed.
Yeah, it was very rushed. There's a couple things in the movie I had a little problem with, and that was one of them. Is like, we didn't have any idea that Palpatine was still alive.
No.
Or whatever it is he is. Because he kind of zombie looking.
Kind of zombie clone, whatever looking thing he is. And he takes credit for it all. He says, like, every voice that's been inside your head has been me, basically. And you hear Snoke, you hear Vader, and then you hear him.
Yeah.
So he's taking credit for all of it. And they're really trying to backtrack and fix what they didn't like that The Last Jedi did.
Oh, there's a lot of that in here.
Yeah, which is all the controversialness. Because you're either on the side of you wanted, like, The Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker storyline, or there are some people that wanted the Rian Johnson storyline.
Yeah.
They just couldn't do both, and Disney missed the mark on that.
See, I still don't dislike The Last Jedi like a lot of people do.
I don't either.
A couple of things here and there, but for the most part I really liked it. But there was a lot of course correction in this movie.
Yes. I think I like some of the course correction that Rise of Skywalker did from Last Jedi, but not all of it, because, as I'm going to say a million times, it was so rushed.
Yeah.
And like you said, like, why, how? Like, okay, Palpatine's here? Like, okay.
I would have liked some sort of explanation.
It should have been a lead-up in the last movie.
Yeah, there should have been some kind of a clue in the last movie that there was something more. Of course, this explains why we killed Snoke, I guess. I don't know where Rian Johnson was going with that for a third one. No.
Like, I guess Kylo just would have been the main villain?
Yeah.
Which is like, okay.
I did like the idea of Palpatine being back because he is the ultimate bad guy.
Yeah, and it ties all the movies together.
And Ian McDiarmid is amazing.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
I loved every performance he has done as Palpatine. Mm-hmm. So it was great, and when they had the preview for the trailer.
At Celebration.
Roll it again.
Yes, he came out and all the fans freaked out. So.
Yeah, that was like way cool.
So we do get a Revenge of the Sith line in this opening bit that is like one of the pieces to the puzzle of why the heck he's back. It's the dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some would consider unnatural. Mm-hmm. And that's plucked right from Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, yeah.
So that's one of the clues of why he's back, but they never straightforward give us anything.
Well, it's kind of along the lines of preserving life.
Yeah.
That he told Anakin at the opera,
Mm-hmm.
Is this something that he did
mm-hmm.
in preparation for, getting hucked down a reactor shaft?
Oh my god, maybe he made Horcruxes, and that's why he's still alive. He Voldemorted it out.
That...
Something to that effect. A Star Wars sense, like Horcruxes.
Yeah, that would
Sith
give us
Horcruxes.
something.
Something to that effect.
I just not real big on the fact that they just didn't explain how he is still there.
Yeah, it's just like a little bit.
Is he fully alive, or is this like a Sith ghost?
Yeah.
Like a Jedi ghost.
Yeah.
It's hard to figure that part out.
Mm-hmm. And with this opening sequence, you also get to see all of the Star Destroyers that his little Sith dudes have made, which is massive. Like
1,000 Star Destroyer fleet.
With all planet-killing technology.
They're all Death Stars.
They're all Death Stars. For me, makes sense in an upgrade sense with how many years it's been. Instead of, Starkiller Base, having them just be on Star Destroyers, that makes sense to me.
I honestly like the idea of the planet-killing technology on a Star Destroyer better than Starkiller Base, because
mm-hmm.
that was my worst thing about Force Awakens.
Yeah, and that's a lot of people. It's another Death Star.
It was too massive, and the whole drain the sun to power it,
mm-hmm.
That still is my least favorite thing about The Force Awakens, even though I love that movie.
Yeah. Some people were saying that this bit to the movie or whatever is very similar to The Emperor's Plan in a 90s comic called The Dark Empire.
I've heard of that comic. I've never read it.
I haven't read it either. So it's once again, we're pulling things from, it's not canon anymore, but we're going to borrow it. When they had all of the options to just do what was in the books or anything like that. They went a different route, but then they're like, we like that. We'll steal that.
Yeah.
We'll steal that.
There's a lot of that.
Mm-hmm. And you get, the introduction going back to Force Awakens of Rey isn't who she seems. Who is she? Who's the girl? We're back to that. Who is she? The girl. That's all Force Awakens is. And now that they're course correcting it because she's not nobody.
Oh, no.
That within the first 5 minutes of this film, she's somebody.
Yeah.
And that was the question, probably the big question if they were going to course correct that.
Yeah.
So.
They did.
Yep. We then jump to the Falcon where Chewie is playing with Poe and Finn on the holo chess board there. And, the guys are joking that he cheats. That Chewie cheats.
And I liked your comment in the theater.
What?
I sat at that table.
I did get to sit at that table. I recently went to Disneyland, folks, and I got to go on the Falcon and all that stuff. So, yes. Fangirl moments. I got to sit there and all that jazz.
Pretty cool.
Good times. But yeah, they're on a mission to get information from a spy that is in the First Order.
Yes.
Which is kind of a big deal.
Big deal.
Big deal. And let's see. Poe is flying the Falcon. Lots of people fly the Falcon in this movie.
Yes.
Lots of people. And Finn is in the gunner seat again. Like
Yep.
Force Awakens.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm glad they're using those things. Those things are so cool.
Yeah.
But if you rewatch A New Hope,
Uh-huh.
those guns go in different angles than they do now.
Oh yeah, they like switched it a little bit.
In New Hope, they're shooting. They can shoot straight down.
Mm-hmm.
In the new ones, it'll only shoot, the around the base of the Falcon. You can shoot to the side, to the front, to the back.
Right. Mm-hmm. And the guy that they're getting the information from or whatever, like Poe's all like, or Poe or Finn, somebody.
I think it was Finn.
Finn, he's like, how can we help? Like, how can we thank you? Win the war.
Yeah.
Like, as many people probably are, they're like, we're so over this bullshit. Like, just win the war already.
And they're docked in the same port that Lando went out to bring Luke in Empire.
They use that a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
The top hatch,
They use
it a lot in this one.
Yeah, which I thought was cool.
Yep. So you got TIE fighters coming in, and so Poe is flying, Finn's in the gunner, and then we introduce light speed skipping.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Yeah. And you kind of get to jump to different places very quickly, obviously. And Chewie's bitching at him because he's doing that. And
I actually thought of Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah?
Yeah, because of when they're skipping through the different portals.
Oh, yeah, and it's like different things.
It's like, Thor throws Mjolnir, and it's on its way to a planet.
Yeah.
And then he goes through a portal, and the hammer turns around and comes back. And
it does do that.
That's what I thought of during that light speed skipping thing.
Yeah. And
I know nobody thinks about Thor: The Dark World, but that's what it reminded me of.
Some people do. His girlfriend's connected to this series.
Yes.
And Chewie gives him shit that he's light speed skipping, and I'm assuming says something like Rey wanted to prove, and Poe's all like, well, Rey's not here.
Yeah.
Because it's her ship now, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm assuming. I don't know. There's multiple people to get to, I guess it's Leia gets to decide who keeps it. And then, of course, you jump to Rey floating with some rocks near the Resistance base. And she's like, be with me, be with me. She's trying to connect to the Jedi.
Yeah.
And,
which I thought was a cool thing, to go to the past Jedi.
Yes.
Which gets really cool later.
Yeah. And you've had... That is, kind of filling in, Last Jedi to Rise of Skywalker, because she had all the old Jedi text.
Yeah.
So she's been doing this. So that's a logical step for her to be doing this.
Yeah, it is.
But they're not with her.
No.
They're not with her at that moment. And you kind of learn that Leia is training her.
Yes.
Which I'm down for.
I was fine with that.
I'm down for Master Leia there. And she even calls her Master at one point. Rey is, having doubts in herself. She doesn't think she's ready for Luke's lightsaber. And, Leia is just, the support system there.
Which obviously got put back together.
No sort of information on how she put the thing back together.
Course correction.
Course correction. I don't even know. I haven't seen it enough to notice if there's a scar on the lightsaber.
I looked when they first showed it. And granted, I've only seen it once. But I looked to see if there was a weld mark.
Yeah.
Or some evidence of repair.
Yes.
As you will see evidence of repair on another item that got destroyed.
That makes sense.
And that makes sense. But it looked just like the regular lightsaber. Yeah. It did not look like it had been repaired at all.
Which is, it's just I understand the course correction, but let's not completely ignore things. I don't know. It's just the flow of these movies doesn't go good, and that's Disney's fault. It's whoever
with Kylo Ren's
Kennedy's
helmet,
or whoever,
you see it being put back together.
Yeah. And even if you didn't even need to see the welding scene. If you would have just seen those lines, you're like, oh yeah, last movie he destroyed it. Oh, okay, he put it back together.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So no sort of marks on Luke's lightsaber there. This is the first thing that we get to see what they did with Carrie.
Yes.
Which I had no complaints in this movie.
I thought they did pretty good. There's a couple times where the eye line isn't quite right. But considering that Carrie passed away
before the movie was filmed,
and they were able to take this unused footage,
yes,
and the lines she spoke, because
Yes.
my concern was, how are you going to get somebody to imitate her voice?
No, you're not.
But no, you just take all this unused footage
Mm-hmm.
and you're able to work it into the storyline. I commend them for
Yes.
the job they did.
The
Couldn't have been easy.
like the digital aspect of it, the script writers that made it part of Rise of Skywalker, not the lines didn't fit Force Awakens, like it flowed together and everything. There was a couple scenes that I did notice that they pulled from Force Awakens, just because I've seen Force Awakens so many times. But once again, like, they're trying to pull together this character, and I have to give them that, because if they would have put it in the crawl that, like, General Organa had died, I would have freaking killed them.
And that was my thing when we were talking about how are they going to do this. I said, they're going to put it in the crawl. Princess Leia has died.
The
Move
end.
on.
And I literally would have got up in the theater.
Yeah.
I would have been like, fuck this.
Yeah.
So they did a good job, and they had Billy Lord's, her daughter's, permission for everything that they did and everything, so I'm good with it.
Yeah. I really wanted him to call Connix Captain.
Yeah.
Because she was Lieutenant Connix in the last two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I really wanted him to just refer to Captain,
Yeah.
Captain, and have her turn around so she got promoted. But
Yeah,
it just...
I'm just glad that she's in it.
Oh, yeah. That's great that she's in it.
So then Rey starts running like the obstacle courses that they've set up in this forest for her to do her training and whatnot. And it involves that little
The
remote trainer from New Hope. And she's like jumping over canyons and like
Balancing on a log.
bouncing on a log, and she's got the lightsaber, and she's like running through and everything. And while she's doing this training, like her and Kylo Ren like have like that Force connection thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to call it.
Force Skype.
Force Skype. That's right. We called it Force Skype last time.
Was it Force Skype or Force Time?
Force Time. Ooh, I like Force Time. Could be. Either way, I like this, like the Force timing.
Yeah.
I like it. Some people don't like the upgrades they've done to the Force. I personally like it. I think it adds a really interesting dimension to the different stories.
Well, I think the upgrade to the Force is part of the Force awakening.
Yeah.
That it's doing more now than it used to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw some of that in the last movie when they were Force timing and the water
Came through. Yes.
onto Kylo Ren.
Mm-hmm.
So we're already saying that, the Force is strong enough for something like that to happen.
Yeah.
So some of the other things that happen in this movie in regards to that were established in the last movie.
Yeah. So they did continue
You set
it
a
on.
precedent for it.
Yes. And it is because of the special Force connection that them two have that hadn't been seen in generations, as they said.
Right.
So
and they
it's-
called it like a dyad.
Dyad or something
The
like
Force
that.
dyad, which is why they have this connection.
Yes. Yeah. So Kylo is looking at Vader's melted ass helmet, and she's trying to train and same stuff, like join me, like come on, take my hand. And Rey's kind of over his bullshit.
Yeah.
Which I'm down for. Finn, Poe, and Chewie come back with the Falcon, and like the Falcon's on fire. Like everything's on fire. Everything's on fire. And Poe and Rey start like fighting that the Falcon is like busted and everything. I actually really like these lines. Like, you know what you are? You're a difficult man. You're a very difficult man.
Yeah.
And he's more upset that she's there training because in his eyes she's not doing anything to help.
Right.
Because he says that she's the best fighter they have. And Finn does agree, but Finn understands what she's doing. So he's kind of like the middle ground
Yeah.
of it. But Poe is just like, you're not doing anything here.
Yeah, but in order for her to complete her mission, she needs to have this training.
Yeah, Finn gets that. Poe is like, no.
Pick up a blaster and shoot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Pretty much.
He's more the Han Solo.
He is very much the Han Solo.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is. And they like kind of bitch about, Poe light speed skipping in the Falcon.
Yeah.
And all that fun stuff. Rey is still calling it Han Ship.
Yeah.
What did you to Han Ship?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess maybe it's not hers. I don't know whose it is.
I wonder how much hyper fuel they burn through with that light speed skipping.
Dude, I don't even begin to know.
Ever since Solo,
Yeah.
anytime I watch any Star Wars movie and they go to light speed, I'm going, do you have enough hyper fuel for that? Because
no.
whoever heard of hyper fuel?
Yeah. I recently saw where, because I went to Disneyland, where Galaxy's Edge takes place in this timeline, and it's like Chewie, because you fly the Falcon, Chewie let them borrow the Falcon in between Last Jedi and this one. When I flew the Falcon, I fucked it up, man. So I'm like thinking about all the repairs they had to do when I flew the Falcon. So me and my friend really fucked it up. So hopefully they were able to fix that a little bit.
That's funny. And it had to be cool to be able to stand underneath the Falcon.
Yeah, stand on it. Like, I did all the positions. I flew the Falcon. We were the gunners and the, whatchamacallit? Engineers, thank you. Yes, it was very cool. Very fangirl worthy. And I got a hug from Chewbacca. So then we go to, like, the rest of the resistance of, like, what the message says from the spy. And the message is basically, like, you know, Palpatine's back.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, kind of like the audience, they're like, what the fuck? Like, yeah. Palpatine's dead! And you get Aftab Akbar, which is Admiral Akbar's son. Mm-hmm. He actually says, like, the Emperor's dead, this cannot be, or whatever. And you get, like, the only, like, little piece, once more another puzzle, is the Hobbit dude, Dominique Monaghan. He's, like, Sith technology and cloning. Like, you get, like, little lines that are like, oh, here's the explanation. Yeah. But we're not giving you a full explanation.
And, you know, there is a book where Palpatine was cloned, and he came back.
Once again, pulling from legends.
Pulling from legends, exactly.
They're pulling from stuff that they said wasn't going to be canon anymore.
Well, look, they did that in Solo. When Lando was telling all these stories that are from the Lando Calrissian novels from 1983.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you know, they're dipping out of the old stuff whenever it's convenient for something.
When it's convenient, yes. Mm-hmm. And I get not doing all the storylines, because then there would literally be, like, no, like, surprise.
Yeah.
If you would have just, like, done the straight, like, Jason and Jaina Solo story, you're going to be like, okay, well, Jason's going to turn to the dark side here in 2 seconds. Mm-hmm. Like, you would have known what's going to happen. Right. So I get it, but it's to be like, oh, no, it's legends, we're ignoring it all, and then be like, oh, wait, except for this part, and this part. And this part.
Right, exactly.
So it is being called the Final Order, is what Palpatine's plan is, and that's what the message says. Palpatine's back, they have the Final Order, and they have a huge legion of Star Destroyers.
Yeah.
Which is great news for the Resistance that is already itsy-bitsy.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Massively itsy-bitsy since the last movie. The Resistance has grown a little bit since the last movie.
Yes. Because before the Resistance fit on the Falcon.
Yes. So they have more ships and, you know, things like that. So more of them survived and or joined up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're still kind of screwed.
Yes. Very much so. They don't have the numbers.
No. This leak from the spy is saying that there's like thousands of Star Destroyers.
Yep.
And they're all on towards Exegol, a Sith planet.
Yeah. And
when they say that, Rey almost like is like, I've heard that name before. She goes and gets the Jedi texts from the books that she got from Luke.
Yep. Yep.
And she's read about it. So
there's the proof that she took the books. We saw them in Last Jedi. They were in the drawer.
Yes.
But mm-hmm. I felt very good when she went to her own little personal library.
Yes. And
look it up.
She's like, General, can I talk to you? And she's basically telling Leia she's going to go try to find Exegol. And Leia's not really keen on that plan.
Yeah.
And Rey's like, I want your blessing, but I'll do it without it or something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's what you would do.
Because it's what you would do. I love that.
Yes, yes, yes. So then we start, like, the next set of, like, mission for this movie. Rey is going to go look for Exegol, and Poe's going to go with her, Finn's going with her, Chewie's going with her, C-3PO and BB-8 are going with her.
Yeah.
She wants to do it alone, and Finn's like, yeah, do it alone, with friends.
Exactly.
Which is great, because I wanted the new trio to be together.
Yes, yes.
I love their time together in this movie, and so I was glad that we got to see that. And you do get to briefly see Rose. Rose is, like, cut down in this movie.
Yeah.
And people are pissed about that.
Well, I think that the thing about that is so many people didn't like her in Last Jedi.
Yes.
Her mission with Finn
was pointless.
They did nothing.
Yep.
They accomplished nothing.
They fucked stuff up.
They fucked stuff up. And because of them, more resistant ships got blown up because of DJ.
Yeah.
And
oh my god, he wasn't in this either.
No.
Oh.
And they killed Phasma. There was no Phasma.
Phasma. They did actually kill Phasma. Yep.
Even though we had female stormtroopers in here, you could hear their voices.
You could hear their voices. They still can't shoot, though.
They still can't shoot. None of them can shoot. Well, you can't see anything on those helmets. Let me go put my helmet on and try to shoot something. You can't see anything.
I could try. Okay, but anyway, some people were saying that it's because, like, it wasn't, like, JJ's character. I think you had said that. Like, Rose wasn't one of JJ's characters.
Right.
So they kind of, like, put her down a little bit. I think that they could have included her more if it was just, like, written a little bit better. Like, I didn't need the, like, jealous, like, pay attention to me and not Rey. That was Last Jedi.
No.
And it's nothing against the actress because that's the script she was given.
No. And granted, if you've ever read the book of The Last Jedi, Rose is so much worse.
Yeah.
In that. She is horrible in that book.
And it's not. Yeah, it's nothing against Kelly
Marie Tran. No, I thought she did good. I think she's super cute. And
it's like they could have done like this version of her character. Like she's gonna stay behind and look into the tech of the Star Destroyers in case they find it. She's like working beside Leia. You know, if we could have seen more of those things, I would have been totally down for her assistance within the Resistance.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but you know, I would have been okay with seeing more of her.
Yep.
But I understand why
they could have used her at the end of the movie instead of Janna.
Yeah.
The new character.
Yeah.
Could have easily been Rose because she was on the ship.
Yeah.
So, creative decisions.
Yeah. They wanted to introduce Janna, which was a great character.
Yep.
Her whole posse was way cool.
So, yes, new trio together. I love them. I love Daisy, John, and Oscar.
I did really like seeing the three of them together.
They all play off of each other so well.
So well.
And I love the chemistry between them is great. Like Daisy and John are so hilarious if you watch them in interviews. I love like Oscar and John's like chemistry. Like everyone like wants to ship them, and I'm totally down for it. But I love that you got to see more of the new trio together.
Yeah.
Since they fucked up and didn't give us Han, Luke, and Leia again.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, so then you get to the part where Kylo is having his helmet re-welded together. Mm-hmm. And
by some kind of monkey.
Some sort of monkey Bigfoot thing.
Yeah.
Little baby Bigfoot thing.
Yeah.
And there's like red etching of where it is or whatever.
Yeah. It's like the weld stayed hot.
Yeah. Which is cool looking.
Oh, it provided a great look for the helmet.
Too bad I think it's for different toys.
Yeah, it is.
I also heard Disneyland. I heard that they do not have the rights to Adam Driver's face. So the new attraction they're building there has to have the helmet.
Really?
I heard that. I don't know if it's accurate, but they don't have the rights to Adam Driver's face.
Now that's something the actor has to sign off on.
Yes.
You know, he has to. You gotta, in order to have your likeness reproduced, you have to sign off on it. Of course, if it was me, I'd sign off on it because that's another check coming in.
Yeah, true. We do get to see more of the Knights of Ren in this movie, and they do absolutely nothing for me.
No, there's no explanation of what they are. You get to see them, and they've still got their axes and their swords and their regular analog weapons. You know, they're not digital weapons. They're not like a lightsaber or anything. But they're there.
They're there. Like, they could be stormtroopers, they could be Red Imperial Guards, like, they literally, like, whatever.
Yeah, I would have liked some kind of explanation of what they
Once again, I feel like we left that off in Force Awakens to be picked up in Last Jedi, but it was not.
Right. Which was, to me, a mistake because you make a big deal about it. Mm-hmm. Rey sees them in her vision, and Kylo Ren stabs one of them.
Yeah, I don't even know what that whole Rey vision was now.
No.
Nothing.
No, I'm very confused on the Knights of Ren. I think they came back just for target practice.
Probably.
I mean, they kind of made a big deal about the Knights of Ren, but they were just fodder for the canon, that's all they were.
Yep. So they have actually cut off the head of the dude that gave them the information from the spy.
Yeah.
About Exegol and everything. Mm-hmm. So Some people were joking that, like, oh, we used to cut off hands in Star Wars. Now we be cutting off heads.
And throwing them on tables.
Yeah.
Yum.
Yummy. Yeah. They're kind of having, like, a First Order boardroom meeting conversation.
There's a whole lot more generals and admirals and stuff sitting around that table.
Everyone, except for one, everyone is clearly afraid of Kylo Ren.
Yep.
He force chokes a dude up to the ceiling.
Yeah.
Like, and then, like, everyone's like, I think your helmet looks great. Your helmet looks good. Because they're all terrified of him.
Yeah. That was a callback to Rogue One. When Vader threw the guy up against the ceiling.
Yeah, and, like, Vader did a force choke in a meeting, too. It's called back to Vader.
Oh, yeah.
In New Hope. He does the force choke in their little...
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
So it's definitely a callback.
Release him.
Yeah. You do get to see Hux in this meeting, and you get the introduction. General Pride, I think, is there.
Mm-hmm.
And all that jazz. Richard E. Grant?
Yes. Who was driving me crazy in the movie because I knew the actor and I could not place him. And so I finally asked Cassie about it, and she says, oh, he's the dad from Little Vampire. And I go, he's the guy from the Spice Girl movie.
Spice Girls!
Hate to admit that I watched that, but I really do like that movie.
Everything.
It's funny.
Oh, I saw this post that was like, the existence of Baby Yoda means that there has to be a sporty Yoda, a ginger Yoda, a scary Yoda, and a posh Yoda.
Oh my god, that is hilarious. That's a little Mandalorian there if you haven't watched Mandalorian.
Yes. A lot of people are saying it's the best thing to come out of Star Wars in a lot of years.
It is so good. I am jazzed for the next season. Baby Yoda is just taking the world by storm.
Pretty much.
Podcast I listen to says that Baby Yoda is a mixture of Yoda and Yaddle from the from Phantom Menace. Mm-hmm. So they're calling it Baby Yodel.
Baby Yodel.
Yes,
Yodel.
and I think that's adorable.
There's a meme around it with I don't even know what that thing is, like the green goblin looking thing from that one movie that looks like a hooker Yoda.
Oh, yeah. Gremlins.
Yes, Gremlins.
Yeah.
And it's like him and her, and it says, like, Billie Jean is not my lover. And it's, but the kid is not my son. All right, focus. So the new trio is heading to Pisana, yet another desert planet. Mm-hmm. But it's not Jakku, it's not Tatooine, it's Pisana.
I didn't remember the name of it. I'm glad you did.
I do. I remember all. Now, let me just say, we have this conversation all the time. Once again, the names of the planets don't have to pop up on the screen.
Oh, I know.
For it to flow. It takes me out of the movie when movies do this. Marvel does this all the time. Star Wars has done this, like Rogue One does it. And if you just add it into the script, I feel like it flows so much better.
Yeah.
And this is an example of that. So, Pisana. And a huge festival is happening right where they need to be.
Yeah.
So it's like, is that a negative or a positive? Like, you kind of have cover because a huge festival is going on, but like Poe says, there's always going to be First Order guards within the crowd.
Yeah, informants.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, keep your head down.
He's Chewie. Like, he has to keep your head down, Chewie, and like Chewie like leans down because obviously.
And Jonas Sudetamo, is that his name that plays Chewie now?
Yes.
Sudetamo is his last name. I know that.
Yeah, it's like remember. Jonas or Jonas, something like that.
Something like it. Yeah. Oh my god, that guy just takes Chewie. He took over for Peter Mayhew.
Yeah.
So good.
Yes.
He is so good as Chewbacca, and I really admire him for. He got to work with Peter Mayhew.
Yes.
And I think he does a knock it out of the park job.
Yes, he does a really good job because it's not just like a mask. Like Chewie has like a character, like a very specific things with the mannerisms and everything.
Yes, yes.
During this festival on Pisana, Rey gets a necklace from like a little girl, and she's like asked what Rey's family name is, and she's like, I don't have one. We have that a couple times in this movie. It's like, what are we leading up to? What are we leading up to?
I'm just Rey.
Just Rey. And during this, like, Kylo and Rey have another Force connection. Force time.
Yep.
And they're just, like, having a conversation. And I like how these moments are filmed, because it's like they kind of, like, they switch back and forth of where each person is, and sometimes they kind of combine it.
Yeah.
Which is really cool, how it's filmed. But then it's shitty, because he literally grabs the necklace off of her.
Right.
Which is, I think, great. Because, like, Rey immediately knows. She's like, fuck. He's going to be able to track exactly where we are because he just grabbed the necklace.
Right.
And it's not like he just feels it in the Force and he pinpoints where she is. No, like, they, like, do research on it.
Yeah, they analyzed it to see where what its origin was.
And that's one of the reasons I like the, like, pull stuff through the Force between Rey and Kylo.
Which, we said earlier, they established with the Rain.
Yes, they already established it. Yep.
So it's not some new Force power. It was established in the last movie.
Mm-hmm. So they are going through the crowd, and a stormtrooper comes up, and the trio is saved by a masked man.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Lando Calrissian.
Yes!
Billy D is back.
I was so jazzed when the preview came out, and you saw Billy D. Williams sitting in the cockpit of the Falcon and doing his ha-ha-ha.
Yes, he is definitely still Lando.
Definitely still Lando. I mean, he's getting older.
He is.
But he has not lost an ounce of charisma.
No,
that
definitely
guy
not.
is so cool.
Yeah. And it seems like Leia had messaged him for, like, backup in case the kids needed assistance, basically.
Yep.
And they're talking about, like, finding, like, the Jedi Hunters that Luke had mentioned in the text and everything, and Lando's like, I went on that mission with Luke. We were both trying to find it.
Yep.
So, like, they're in the right place, and it's such and such here, and all that stuff. So they get confirmation that the idea that Rey had from the books is right.
Yes.
Because Lando was there.
Yeah.
You also get Lando saying, I've got a bad feeling about this,
Yep.
which they got brought back for this one.
Yep. And they're all General Calrissian.
Yeah. It's, like, definitely, like, a fan moment for them.
Oh, yeah, you know.
All these people.
It was like when, Han Solo.
Yeah.
The rebellion general?
No, the smuggler.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
These are people that are very important from the past, and
Yes.
you're meeting them, and that's super cool. Because that was my thing in Force Awakens and Last Jedi, is I'm going, where's Lando? Mm-hmm. And I was also asking about another character, but
That shows up later.
that shows up later, even though I thought it was somebody else.
And then because we had talked about, like, oh, Lando could have been on Canto Bight, like, living his player life,
He could
all
have been in a
these
slot
things.
machine.
So it was actually kind of nice for me that they still were, like, General Calrissian.
Yeah.
Because he's a general in Return of the Jedi. Like,
Yes, he is.
And he continues on and does more stuff for
He led the attack on the second Death Star.
Yeah.
He was the commander
Yeah.
of that attack.
So I like that it was General Calrissian.
Yes, so did I.
And Rey tries to recruit him. She's like, Leia needs pilots.
Mm-hmm.
And, my flying days are over, but give Leia my love. Her husband just died 2 seconds ago. Bro, you know this. Step
He's
back.
still, hello, what have we here? He is so cool. Love Billy D.
He's great. Oh. And so they get on, like, a platform that is very Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Tatooine thing, to go out further into the desert where the ship is supposed to be. The Jedi Hunter ship is supposed
It's
to
like
be.
a desert skiff.
Yes.
From when they went to the Sarlacc pit.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Same
And
basic thing.
the stormtroopers are chasing them, and they have, like, one of, like, the funniest interactions, I think, because, like, 3PO is like, they fly now! They fly now? They fly now!
Yeah.
And they got little jetpacks on them.
Which, if you play the games, stormtroopers have flown.
Yeah. In the Run of the Sith game, they flew.
They flew.
Or the clones did.
Yeah, they were clones then,
Yeah.
but they flew. And they also had flame troopers.
Yeah.
Which they had to have had on Tatooine, because how else do you barbecue Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru?
Yes, tragedy.
And you get to see a flame trooper.
In Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The
Yeah.
beginning of Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Yes. So the guys are kind of on one of the platforms, and Rey and BB-8 and Chewie are on the other one?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's Finn, Poe, and 3PO. And then Chewie, Rey, and BB-8 on the other one. Have we noticed that, like, BB-8's just, like, Rey's droid now? Like, not Poe's anymore?
No, it sure seemed like it.
I mean, at the beginning, like, Poe was like, what did you do to my droid? When they're talking about the Falcon.
Yeah.
Because the tree fell on BB-8.
Yeah.
But, BB-8 goes with Rey everywhere. And even at the end of the battle, like, I know they wanted, like, BB-8 on like, the Star Destroyer so he could do what he does. But, like, R2's in Poe's X-Wing.
Yeah.
So, BB-8 just, like, switched parties.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they just switched. You know, I like the idea of R2 being in Poe's X-Wing.
Oh, yeah.
Because it
Gives
brings,
R2 apart.
It brings back, you know, Red 5. Not the Red 5 that crashed into the shield gate on Scarif, but...
Yeah, different.
Luke.
So after they, like, do some cool little maneuvers and, like, blowing up some stormtroopers and stuff, they all land in the sinking sand.
Yes.
Which is super fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yay, sand. You know what I went to? Well, besides the fact of Anakin loving sand, is what I thought of.
Throw the rope.
Grab the rope!
Yeah.
Which is from Indiana Jones.
Yes.
The Crystal Skull, in case you guys don't know. I love that movie.
No, there are movie references in this.
There's so many, and I didn't know if it was just me.
No.
I kept picking up on so many different movie references.
No, there's
Me.
2 big ones from Goonies.
Yes.
Very big ones from Goonies.
And I'm convinced there's like a dead set Avengers one too.
Yes.
So they're like falling down into the sand, and Finn is trying to tell Rey something. Immediately, a lot of people were like, "Oh, he's trying to say like I love you, Rey, before we die." But other people are saying he was trying to tell her that he's Force sensitive then.
Yeah.
And JJ's kind of confirmed this one.
Yes.
Like he was trying to tell her then and there because it was hinted at in Force Awakens. I think I even say that on our podcast.
Yeah.
When he feels the planets go.
When the Hosnian system gets killed.
He feels it first.
Nobody's out there, and
Yes.
he hears the screaming.
Mm-hmm.
I have rewatched that part since we did the recording. And there is nobody out there screaming.
Yeah. It's up. He feels it.
Yes.
And so they confirmed in this movie he's Force sensitive, which is great. I love it. Would have loved to have seen more of it. Should have been explained last time,
Yes.
and you should have got to see more of him in this.
Yeah. And he doesn't necessarily have to become a Jedi.
No,
just
he's
because
just,
he's Force sensitive.
He's got something going.
Because, you know, Mozzarella Canada.
Yeah.
Maz Kanata is, you know, she understands the Force.
Yep, she's Force sensitive.
Chirrut, Imwe.
Yep.
He feels the Force, but he's not
with me.
You know, he's not a full-fledged Jedi. And Finn wouldn't have to necessarily be a Jedi, but he's Force sensitive.
Yep. Yep.
And we already know Broom Boy is Force sensitive.
Yeah, Broom Boy. There's like a whole...
Yeah, there's got to be people that are Force sensitive out there, you know? And so the fact that Finn is, I think, is good. Which would mean he tapped into his Force feelings is why he didn't pull the trigger.
Oh, yeah.
In the Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was feeling that it was wrong despite his training and stuff, even though he was in sanitation. And then this was his first mission as a stormtrooper. He's still using his inner Force ability to know what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
Just an opinion.
And then is this the thinking? Does Kylo like kind of focus on him because he's like the traitor, or because he feels that from him?
Now, I think that is very possible.
He feels it specifically on the first planet with Not Kanan.
Yes. Yes.
With Not Kanan in Force Awakens. That guy.
He'll be back later.
Yeah. And then like he gets very like possessive. He gets very possessive at the end. That lightsaber belongs to me. Yeah, come get it.
Yeah.
At the end of Force Awakens. So that could be like a Force thing too that Kylo feels coming off of him.
Well, yeah, and the fact that he remembered his number.
Yes.
You know, when after 2187.
Yeah.
You know.
And he wanted to know like the details of like it goes.
I think it fits.
It flows. So then we go back to the base, and you get Snapped Wexley and a scene with Leia and Rose and him, which is
pretty funny.
It's funny. It's great delivery from him, and of course you still have Carrie's great acting.
Yes. With
it, like Leia, could you be a little bit more positive?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fine. It's gonna be great, man. Like it's so good. It's we haven't heard from the Falcon, but it's great.
No, and he's good. I like the actor.
I do too.
He's a friend of JJ's.
I want to be a friend of JJ's.
Yeah, no doubt.
You get to like be in movies and shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, he got to be in Star Trek too. He was in the Star Trek movie we don't care for.
Oh, that movie's horrible.
I did not like that movie, but he was in it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going, Snap Wexley's in the Star Trek universe. Holy shit.
And a lot of that like go back and forth.
And because I read Aftermath,
which gives more of his story.
It's basically him growing up.
Yeah.
You know, and so once I figured out that was who the kid was from Aftermath growing up.
His mom was part of the rebellion, right?
She was a pilot. I can't remember if she was a TIE fighter pilot or if she was a rebellion pilot. Or if she was a TIE fighter pilot that turned. I can't remember, but
I couldn't remember because there's
his mom's name was Nora Wexley.
Yeah,
and I can't remember her exact role.
There's like a line later on about like that Poe says about like our mothers and fathers fighting for this, and it's like his parents were a part of the rebellion.
Oh yeah, you've told me that.
His dad was on the moon of Endor, and his mom was up flying, almost shot Luke out when he left the Death Star. So his parents were all part of it too. Yeah. So it's the different generation things that Star Wars always
I know
does.
we've talked about Nora Wexley before.
Yeah.
And I should probably research that again or listen to that book again.
Yeah. So the new trio sneaking down into the tunnels. As I said, very Harry Potter to me with the Devil's Snare, where that you just relax and sink down.
Yeah.
Like that's how you get to it type of thing. Another movie reference. Down in the tunnels, Rey uses her lightsaber as a light, and Poe turns on his flashlight.
That was hilarious.
So funny. I love Poe in this movie.
He's
really
good.
love Poe in this movie.
He's good. I mean, you got to take away his role in X-Men, because I thought that was a horrible X-Men movie.
Yeah, that's
Apocalypse.
He's Gomez Adams now, though, in the cartoon. I'd love to see him a real-life Gomez Adams.
He could be a real-life Gomez.
Real-life Gomez, yes. I'm down for it. He does
the
voice in the new cartoon.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I like him. He's great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he would have the mustache from your other movie.
Yeah, from, the Zack Snyder one.
The Zack Snyder movie.
Oh, with Baby Doll and, oh, Lord.
Carla Gugino
and everyone. Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch. There you go.
I'm the only person that likes that movie.
I know you are. I didn't like it.
I love it. It's so visually
pleasing.
But
I remember it was on one time and I'm going, that's Poe.
Yeah, Poe.
He had the little Gomez mustache.
Yes. I love the flashlight thing with the lightsaber thing though, because like it's like, come on, haven't you pretended like a flashlight with a lightsaber before?
Always.
Like every person has done this.
I used to, when I was little, it was foggy. I would go out with a flashlight and turn it on, and you'd see the beams through the fog, and all of a sudden you had a lightsaber.
Yes.
I'm all into that.
So Rey finds the knife and or dagger down in this tunnel, and it has a bunch of Sith writing on it. She immediately gets like the bad juju from it.
Oh yeah.
Like horrible things happened with this knife, with this blade.
Yeah.
And she's got a personal freaking connection to horrible things that have happened with this knife. So of course she felt it.
Yeah.
But to be fair, like a lot of bad things. Sounds like he killed a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he did.
Lots of people. 3PO can read the writing, but he cannot translate it because a Senate law that was passed forbids him to translate Sith.
Yes.
So he knows what it says, but he can't tell them. And Poe is like, you mean when we need you to talk, you can't talk? He's very Han Solo.
Very Han Solo.
And they're suggesting that the Jedi Hunter, what is his name?
I don't remember the name. The one thing I really did like in this movie, though, is 3PO is back to the original series, the original trilogy type 3PO. 3PO
has a fantastic role in this movie.
It's great.
I think this is also 3PO's best movie.
This is 3PO's best movie. I mean, he's great. I just watched New Hope recently.
Oh, yeah.
And, I really enjoy 3PO in that. I enjoy him in Empire, Cockblock, and I enjoy him in Jedi because of the, Master Luke, I don't think I can impersonate a deity. That kind of stuff. He's great in the original trilogy. But then you go back to the prequels, and they put so many Jar Jar lines in him for Attack of the Clones that I started losing love for 3PO.
Yes.
So when we went to the symphony and we watched the movie while they were playing it, everybody was cheering for 3PO.
Yes.
And that was
very refreshing.
That was very refreshing. It brought me back to the love that I had for 3PO. And because it's always, R2 was kick-ass hero in the prequels, but 3PO was just kind of a shiznit, And so having him in this movie being so positive, so old school 3PO, Anthony Daniels just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
I thought he was great.
His definite favorite one. And they kind of started it in Force Awakens, like, bringing him back to, like, the good 3PO. Like,
yes.
Look who it is, Han Solo.
And the look like a
Yes, I know who he is. So, yes, very
How
good.
didn't recognize me because of the red arm.
Yes.
It's there, red, so we can sell more action figures.
True. The Jedi Hunter is Ochi.
Ochi.
Okay. So they're thinking that Ochi, like, never left the cave. Goonies.
Yes.
Goonies.
Very Goonies.
Chester what?
Copperpot.
Copperpot. I called him Cobblepot. Apparently I like Penguin.
Yes. It's not Oswald Cobblepot.
My
It's
bad.
Chester Copperpot.
But this is another bit that reminds me of Goonies. Like, the kids going in the tunnel. They find the bones of the dude that had tried to find the stuff before them. It's very Goonies.
Very Goonies. And, you know, JJ...
He's BFFs with Steven Spielberg.
You know, he's worked with Spielberg for years.
So, I mean, that's why you're getting Indiana Jones references. Steven Spielberg helped write Goonies.
Yes.
Like, you have these different things, so... So, a giant snake comes, into the tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about how they don't want to know what made the tunnels, and it's because it's a huge freaking basilisk. I don't know what it is. It's a serpent, it's a basilisk. It looks like Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. There, you just put Goonies and Harry Potter together in that one scene.
Yes. But they keep calling it a serpent or whatever, and it is injured.
Yeah.
And this is when Rey becomes Ezra from Rebels. She has, like, the Force connection with the serpent, calms it down, and then we get the introduction to Jedi healing in this movie.
Yes.
Which was introed in The Mandalorian.
Yes, because I heard that before you see Rise of Skywalker, you need to watch the current episode that came out the Wednesday before. Usually it comes out on Friday, but it came out on Wednesday.
That's why they did it.
That's why they did it, because there's a scene in The Mandalorian with Force healing, and they wanted that to establish that before Rise of Skywalker came out and Rey does this Jedi healing. There's also a book, an older book. I have the audiobook. It's called Jedi Healer.
Yeah, I think that's been a thing also from
It has.
Legends. So.
Now, one of the podcasts I listened to it the day after we went to the movie. They think Obi-Wan used Force healing on Luke after the Sand People attacked him.
That's brilliant!
No, because when they drop Luke and Obi-Wan comes up doing the Krayt Dragon yell,
yeah.
Obi-Wan kneels down and he puts his hands on his temple.
Yeah.
Now, that is a way you can check a pulse. You can feel a pulse up there. And I always thought he was checking his pulse. Now, this podcast I listened to, they are wondering if that was him using the Force to wake Luke up, because right after he does that, Luke wakes up.
I think that's brilliant. I'm going with that.
No, I think that brings the Force healing into more of it, because it makes sense. Because, it happens in The Mandalorian, which is really, really cool.
Maybe we'll see some of that lead up in the Obi-Wan series.
I really want to see that.
Really?
I saw that preview for that. And
Ewan McGregor's coming back.
Ewan McGregor.
Yes.
Can't wait for that. If they do as good a job as they did on The Mandalorian.
Yeah, this is high quality stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I had to put on, I've got a Boba Fett helmet. And after I started watching The Mandalorian, I put the helmet on and took a selfie of myself and posted it and said, I'm ready to watch The Mandalorian.
Can I just say, can everyone agree that The Mandalorian is better than Boba Fett? I know everyone loves Boba Fett. I don't. But, Mandalorian be kicking Boba Fett's ass, just saying.
There's rumors that Boba Fett's going to show up next season. That he survived the
Why did
Sarlacc.
he... I can't keep up. He survives the Sarlacc pit. He doesn't survive the Sarlacc pit. I can't
Well,
keep up.
that's just rumors I'm hearing. But no,
they should bring back the actor from the prequels then. He's still around. Doing, Star Wars conventions and stuff. The kid, Baby Boba.
Daniel Logan. Yeah, he actually did a photo shoot.
Oh.
Somebody had a Boba Fett costume and he was in town for a convention or something.
He's very with the conventions. He's super cool to the fans, too.
Somebody that was local wanted to do this photo shoot. So they put him in this whole gear.
So freaking
and
cool.
let grown-up Daniel Logan be, in the Boba Fett, and they did a photo shoot of it. I haven't seen the pictures of it, but I heard about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I thought it was cool. But see, I always thought Boba Fett was cool. His the whole Mandalorian thing and stuff like this, but he did nothing.
Yeah.
He was just a putz.
Except for in the new edit of New Hope, where he's like, "Hi, I'm here.
Oh,
hello, I'm here."
I know.
Hi.
I just watched New Hope the other day,
Hello.
and there's actually more of him in that than I remembered. Because when they first walk in, Boba Fett's standing right there.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that. I remembered the "Hi, Boba Fett.
Hello, I'm here. Look at it, it's Boba Fett."
I'm advertising my new fitness program, the Boba Fett.
Oh my gosh.
But no, the Mandalorian is better. Because you get to hear about all the stuff that he had, and you got to see Jango Fett, who had the fight with Obi-Wan,
yes.
not Boba Fett.
Oh, did I say?
You said Boba.
Oh no!
Sorry, I was going to tell you that off the air, but
let's just let it all out. Let's all let it all hang out. I said penguin in my video review. To be fair, I had a lot of thoughts. I was rambling off on my thoughts for my video.
But you got to see what the Mandalorian stuff could do with Jango Fett during that fight.
Yeah.
Shooting the cables, the flamethrowers, all the different things that he had. But Boba Fett really didn't use a lot of those.
Yeah.
And then he used the jetpack to fly over to the skiff.
Yeah.
But then he got taken out
by
a blind guy.
A blind guy that couldn't see Boba Fett. Where?
And seeing the Mandalorian and having other Mandalorians in it, they are badass.
To be fair, Rebels introed the badass Mandalorians.
No, they did.
They did. The last season was all Mandalorian stuff and how cool they were and how the stuff they've done and everything. So Rebels was a good introduction for how badass,
And there are. I drive around and I see people with the Bantha skull sticker on their cars, which is the Mandalorian symbol. And I'd never really been into it.
Gonna be out now.
But there's going to be a lot more now because I think that culture and stuff is really, really cool. And that show is just doing wonders with it.
Well, maybe Jon Favreau can be on board with something of the Obi-Wan series because he obviously knows what he's doing in the film industry.
Oh, yeah.
So.
And Bryce Dallas Howard directed one of the episodes.
Yes, she did, yeah.
And, of course, her dad did Solo.
Yes.
So you got that. And then the guy that directed Thor Ragnarok directed the last episode.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce his name. He's New Zealand. Tiku Wafidi or
I know
something
who you're
like that.
about.
He actually did the voice for Thor's buddy that was playing the video games.
Oh, yeah.
And
the big rock dude.
Big rock dude, and he was wearing the Hawaiian shirt. Yeah.
So, looping back to the cave, force healing, because of the Mandalorian, all that stuff. I'm down with the force healing.
And when I watched The Mandalorian and saw the force healing there, I said, that's what's going to be in it. It's going to be force healing.
Yep.
Because there was nothing else that stood out like
and
that.
And then, the serpent's like, okay, she's chill. I'll let you live. Bye. Yeah. And move out the way because he was blocking the exit.
Yeah.
So, you get the Knights of Ren distant desert shot. From a helicopter. Kind of a cool shot.
Yeah.
Once again, don't care about them, but whatever. From a filmmaking perspective. And they find Ochi's ship. The location and all that stuff that they need or whatever.
Which has been there for how long and nobody's taken anything off of it?
Yeah, it's
still fly.
It still flies. It's up on a thing, but it's I wonder if you, to the naked eye, from a distance, if it's more hidden and you have to go through that tunnel to get to that area.
Yeah, that's I'll go with that.
Yeah, that's what I was going with.
Yeah, going back to Mandalorian, the Jawas.
No, they're gonna
strip.
But we don't know if this planet has Jawas.
They stripped the Razor Crest in a matter of a couple hours.
But that's Tatooine. Don't live on Tatooine, folks.
Was that on Tatooine? I don't think it was Tatooine. I think it was a different desert planet.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, it's not Tatooine. It's something else.
So maybe they are on this planet. They're everywhere.
And the planet that the guild is on, it's called Navarro, because guitarist Dave Navarro was really liked by the guy, I think it was Favreau that wrote it, and so they named the planet Navarro, which I thought was funny.
So, Poe and Finn are trying to climb up to the ship, because it's up on a rock.
Yeah, it's up on a...
Rey hands over her bow staff to Finn, which I called in the trailer, by the way. I was like, he's got her bow staff. And then she's going down because she starts to feel something, which is Kylo coming. So she's going to go down while they investigate the ship, like try and turn things on, try and do all that. She's going down to the sand to deliver us the badass scene from the first trailer that everyone was talking about.
Yes.
And it's Kylo coming in on the TIE fighter across the sand, Rey doing her meditation breathing stuff, all from the trailer that was just as cool in the movie.
Yes, it was.
And it gave us what we wanted with her flipping over, using the lightsaber to cut the ship up. Yeah. That's what everybody wanted from that trailer.
Which totally destabilized the TIE fighter and allowed it to crash.
Crash and burn, and then Homeboy walks out like nothing freaking happened. Yeah. But it's still an awesome scene. I love it. Like, her starting to run, and then the flip. I love that scene.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's
really
beautifully
good.
Shot, beautifully done. It is incredible.
So all while this is happening, Poe tells Chewie to go get Rey because they need to go. And so Chewie goes down to get Rey, all while the Knights of Ren are watching. So you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And then as Kylo is coming out of the smoke and everything, Finn can see that Chewie's been taken.
Yeah.
Stormtroopers and Knights of Ren, like, have him in, like, handcuffs and all the New Hope-ness. Mm-hmm. And they're putting him on the shuttle. So Finn is like, Rey, they got Chewie! And the shuttle starts going up. And so she logically grabs it.
Yeah.
She just grabs it and brings it back, like, is trying to bring it back down. And Kylo starts doing the same thing. And it's kind of like a tug-of-war in the sky for Chewie's shuttle. And this was making me very nervous in the theater. It was giving me such anxiety in the theater.
It took a falling planet to kill Chewbacca in the books.
Yeah. It was not good. So they're like going back and forth, and then the Force lightning comes out Rey's fingertips, and we've only seen that like a couple times.
Dooku
and Palpatine. And so you know that's like, ooh, that's not good.
Yeah.
And it blows up the shuttle, and I literally had a heart attack in the theater.
Yeah.
I was like, because I didn't even think that Chewie was an option going into this movie. I was like, maybe we'll lose R2 or 3PO.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about Chewie.
With the previews, I thought we were going to lose 3PO.
Yeah, it made it seem like we were going to lose 3PO. And so, and Daisy, gotta give it to her. Her scream for Chewie is great.
Yeah.
It's bad. Because it's like, I just killed my friend.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah.
And, like, Finn is all upset and everything. And they're like, we gotta go. We just blew up. And then Kylo Ren, like, poofs. Don't know where the hell he went.
Yeah.
But I liked the idea of her trying to bring the shuttle back down.
Yeah. That showed her strength with the Force. Mm-hmm. I thought that was
really If Leia would have known, she could have done that with Boba Fett and carbonated Han.
Right. So,
yes. Chewie has died.
That was horrible.
I did not like it, and I just got a hug from Chewbacca. I'm very invested in this, okay? I was gonna be really sad if they went and killed Chewbacca. But then it's like, Hux is talking about, there was another shuttle, and we have a prisoner.
And you see it. You see it at the beginning of that. I heard this on a podcast. Uh-huh. I didn't notice it. But they said when you first see, I think it was when they're loading Chewie, you see that there's another shuttle.
Oh, you just have to pay attention. Oh, yeah. I didn't catch that. I've seen it twice.
Yeah, that's what the one podcast I listened to. The main guy on that, he like saw it like 4 days in a row.
Oh my god! And to be fair, we did that with Force Awakens, though.
We did it with Force Awakens, but he was really into getting the details, and he said on the second version he was paying more attention.
Yeah, I tried to do that the second time. I tried to like take it all in. And so the prisoner obviously is Chewie. Chewie's alive! Yes! And Hux is like, he used to fly with Han Solo, and Chewie's like, rawr! At the back of his head, his hair like flies everywhere. And everything. Then we go to, the trio is hiding in an asteroid field. Very Empire.
Have you seen them tow the Falcon in yet?
They're towing it in, like, I think, with Chewie. I think, when Hux is talking in the hallway. Because they have the Falcon, so they're towing that into the destroyer, and the trio took Ochi's ship. Yeah. Because it worked. Yeah. By the grace of God.
Because there were no Jawas.
Because there's no Jawas. Maybe they couldn't climb up. Their little short legs couldn't climb up.
That's possible.
Because Finn had to boost Poe up.
That's true.
But you think that they could, like, climb on top of each other?
Yeah.
Like, no. Okay, that's an image. Houdini.
Houdini. Demon Daka.
So they're hiding in the asteroid field, and Rey feels like shit. Like, she's like, I'm the dark side. I just killed my friend.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a Sith. I'm, like, having these badass visions and everything. And it's not good. Not good. I think this might be the time when her and Finn talk, and he's like, she's like, I had a vision of, like, the throne or whatever, and he's like, Kylo, and she's like, and me.
Yeah.
Like, we're both on it.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And he's, like, trying to be all understanding, but I'd be like, ooh, fuck. Maybe you are a badass bitch.
Yeah, no shit.
That ain't good. During this, BB-8 finds a little droid. A little sad, abused droid.
Yes.
Dio. Who I hear is voiced by J.J. Abrams.
Yes.
Yeah. Poor little droid. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's like a little sad puppy.
I know, you hear the Sarah McLachlan song playing with the sad
animals.
with
The poor
him.
little droid.
He's pretty cool, though. Just a little cone head on a wheel.
Yeah, I thought
Looks
that
like
he
a hairdryer.
A hairdryer or those vacuum, like the handheld vacuum
A
thing.
dustbuster?
Yeah. I think I said that in my trailer review. I went back and watched my trailer reviews, especially the one where, like, at the end, Palpatine's thing, and I was like, is that Palpatine?
Again.
So 3PO then tells the trio that he has the writing memorized, he just can't repeat it.
Yeah.
It's still in, like, his memory bank or whatever. And so Poe suggests that he has someone that would be able to crack the code of a droid, and so they could get the information, because they don't got the knife no more. There's no, it was with Chewie. There's no translating it or anything. They don't have the dagger. And so...
Yeah, Chewie put it in his Indiana Jones pouch.
Yes. So they're going to head to Kijimi. And this is where Kevin Smith's cameo is on this planet.
Yeah.
You can't see him, though. He's, like, got a hood on. And the only reason I know where he is because I literally watched his review and he told me where it was.
Yeah.
But...
Well, if anybody should get a cameo, Kevin Smith is super fan.
Yes.
I love listening to his reviews of stuff on Star Wars.
Yes.
He's a big geek.
Yeah, I love it. He named his daughter Harley Quinn Smith. Okay, let's just take that moment.
He's a geek. He's a geek. He's good. He's good.
So we get the introduction of Zori, who is played by Kerry Russell in this.
Mm-hmm.
She never takes her helmet off, just the eyes.
You get to see her eyes.
Which look really cool. I'm down for her outfit.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's a cool little outfit or whatever. Another white girl with brown hair.
True. Very true.
And she's like an old friend, not friend of Poe's.
Yeah.
Because they used to run Spice together.
Yeah.
Han Solo.
Yeah. You were a Spice Runner. You were a Stormtrooper. You were a Scavenger.
We could do this all night. Like, see, once again, the trio, perfect lines together. They do really good reactions to each other. And, like, Zori is talking about, like, the debt that Poe left her in when he went to join the Resistance, and how if she turned them in, she could get, like, quite the bounty on them, basically. And the girls, like, basically have a moment.
Yeah.
Rey uses the bow staff, and then they're like the blaster goes out, and then Rey, like, pops the lightsaber out, and she's just like, please help us. Like, I don't want to cut your arm off. Like, just please help us. And they kind of have, like, a mutual respect there. She's like...
I thought that was good.
I did, too. She's like, just so you know, like, I think you're all right. And Rey's like, it matters. It's a good little moment.
Yeah.
Zori is going to take them into, like, the back little bar area to see Babu.
Mm-hmm.
Babu. They pass John Williams.
Yes.
He's in the bar. Cameo, the greatest composer ever.
Yeah, with his little boar guy piece.
Yeah.
There's the Star Trek reference.
There's a Star Trek reference. Oh, I was going to say, like, when you were talking about Obi-Wan healing Luke, that it was, like, a Vulcan thing, but I didn't. Haha.
Yeah. But I think it was cool to have John Williams in there.
Yes.
I mean, he's
like,
responsible for the greatest music ever.
Yes. I could reference so many John Williams music, and I say all the time what a score junkie I am, and there's, like, little bits of, like, score pieces in this that tie back to the original, like, saga, so yes, John Williams.
Yes.
So then we go to Hux is talking about locating the girl, because she's with the girl, not the scavenger, not Rey, the girl. And Hux wants to just, like, blow the planet up, because that's, like, kind of his thing. Can we just, like, blow the village up? And that's when you get Kylo Ren's finger point.
Yeah.
Like, his freaking father.
Just like his dad.
Just like his dad. Like, he's just
and
like...
You said Hutch, you were heading back to Fanboys.
Yes, that's exactly what I did. Yes. Yes, Fanboys.
Great character in that movie.
So they meet Babu, who I love Babu. Babu is
cool.
so cute. Babu freak. Who is Moaning Myrtle? I can't get, like, that she did the voice of Babu.
Yeah, that when I heard you say that, I was like, really?
That's crazy.
Because she's got such a distinctive voice.
She does. Even in, like, Bridget Jones, she sounds like Moaning Myrtle.
Yeah.
So they're talking about if they do the droid crack or whatever, like 3PO's mind will be wiped. And it's like, it's back to like Anthony Daniels and like this good movie for 3PO because it's very emotional.
Well, it
like,
is.
And Rey's like, you know the odds better than any of us. And like, he's like, he takes a moment and he's like, if we don't do this, it'll all be for nothing. Like, he has to do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm taking one last look at my friends.
Yeah, and when that was in the preview,
Yeah.
I was like,
oh god, he's gonna die.
yeah.
I will agree with some people that are like, if only that moment could have been with Han, Luke, and Leia.
Yeah. True.
If only. But more emotional, but, you know, Bail Organa did wipe his mind at the end of Revenge of the Sith. So this
Yes,
isn't the
that's true.
This isn't the first time. But that was really comical, like R2 laughed. This was emotional.
This was very emotional.
This was emotional. And so Babu is working to, like, crack his head and all that stuff. Meanwhile, Poe and Zorii are up on top, and she's talking about how bad it's been. The First Order taking kids, like, left and right. Like, she can't handle the cries anymore, which is, like, you know, stealing Temple of Doom kids and shit like that.
Yeah.
And
there's your other movie reference.
I've had so many movie references, I can't even. And she talks about, like, wanting to get away and all that stuff, and, like, he should go with her. She's a good, for the short amount of time we had her, I enjoy her character.
I thought she was good.
Yep.
I mean, Kerry Russell's a good actress.
Yes.
You know, she did Felicity for years.
Yep.
And then cut her hair and the show got
fired.
canceled.
Can't even understand.
Yeah. But
She was good in Planet of the Apes, too.
she was good in Planet of the Apes, yeah. But I thought it would have been nice to see her, you know, actually see her.
Yeah.
You see her eyes, and her eyes look beautiful when they.
It's a great shot of her eyes.
It's a great shot. But you know, if you hire somebody like Kerry Russell,
yeah,
you know, this isn't like Daniel Craig as a stormtrooper.
Yeah, no, that's a cameo.
That's a cameo. This was a small character.
Well, a lot of people said the same thing about Gwendolyn Christie. You saw part of Phasma's eye.
Yeah.
She never took the mask off.
Well, that's true.
So it's kind of the same thing.
That's
and
true.
she was so popular because of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So 3PO.
Barbie.
Yeah. 3PO sits up after, like, Babu's done. He's got, like, red Sith eyes, and he's all, like, talking in Sith, and it's, like, not Anthony Daniels.
Yeah, it was scary 3PO.
Scary 3PO, and he's talking about how the Wayfinder's on the moon of Endor and all that. And Finn's like, where the last war ended? And I'm like, yes! Where the last war ended! Endor, Return of the Jedi! Give me! This is my favorite movie. And then 3PO kind of comes back, and it's like the first meeting.
Yeah.
I'm C-3PO.
And Babu, my oldest friend.
Yeah, I am Babu. I love Babu. Like, if I find a pop of Babu, I'm probably gonna get a pop of Babu, because it's, like, literally the same size.
It really is. Little little guy.
So while they're like, they got bad information, Rey senses Kylo's ship arriving above the planet. But more importantly, she senses that Chewie's still alive.
Yeah.
And that he's aboard that ship. So immediately they're all like, yep, we're gonna go rescue Chewie. Which I love that there wasn't even a debate. No. All three of them were like, nope, we're going for Chewie.
Chewie's alive, we're on our way.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Zorii gives Poe the First Order coin, like, for passage onto the ship, which she was gonna use to get out of the system, which is huge. It's like such a small like time for her in this movie, but like she literally is like, oh, she's a spice runner or whatever, but she obviously is a really good person that she just gave away
her chance
for them to maybe end the war.
Yeah.
Go get their friend and end the war.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of Zorii.
No, she was good. That was a good moment. I didn't quite understand the coin until they popped it in the dashboard.
Yeah. It would be like the...
it's like a transponder.
Yeah.
Saying that it's acceptable to land.
Yeah. It's like the updated version. It's like in Return of the Jedi, they had the code.
Yeah.
That the Bosnians died for.
Bothans.
Bothans? Bosnians. What's a Bosnian?
That's a country in Europe.
Bosnian?
Yeah.
What's that from? Don't know.
It's probably in that song. Albania, somewhere near Romania.
Oh, Lord.
It's Euro and NATO. Why the hell do we go?
So they land into the Star Destroyer, into the hangar, and they're like, where do we go? Hey, Finn, you were a stormtrooper. He's like, I don't know, follow me. Like, how's he supposed to know? They take down some stormtroopers, and then they turn down a hallway, and, like, more stormtroopers come up, and Rey uses Force Mindness. It's okay that we're here. You're pleased that we're here. And they're like, thank God you're here.
Yes, that was funny.
So she's perfected it since you will leave with the door open from Force Awakens. Yeah. And leave your blaster.
You will undo these restraints and leave the cell with the door open.
Yeah.
And drop your blaster.
And drop my blaster. Yes.
I would like to know if those two stormtroopers were a cameo.
I bet they were, because those were the specific stormtroopers. Like,
they were very singled out, like Daniel Craig was in Force Awakens.
Yes. And as you had said, during these sequences, you get to hear women in the Stormtrooper, which is new. But like I said, they can't shoot for shit. Nobody can shoot.
Nobody
really.
Can shoot.
I mean, Poe does get hit at one point, but I think that was luck.
We got to go back to the Death Troopers to have Stormtroopers that can shoot.
Yes, true. So the trio kind of splits up at this point. Like, the guys go for Chewie and his stuff, because she asks where Chewie and his belongings are.
And his belongings, yep.
And Rey, like, has a feeling, and so she's going to go, basically, to Kylo's quarters.
Yeah.
So they split up. There she finds Vader's helmet. There's some other stuff spread out around. Chewie's things, the dagger, and stuff like that. She's just, like, kind of walking around there. And then they have another Force connection. Force time.
Yep.
And he's just, like, speaking to Rey, talking about how, baiting her as your parents weren't junk dealers. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Do you want to know the truth, And he also wants to know, like, where she is. Which is really funny, like, because, like, they can't see.
They can't see each other.
They can't see each other, but this is another really cool way that they film these moments in this particular one. Oh. Because they're walking, and, like, she's suddenly on the planet, and then he's suddenly, like, because...
Yeah. It flips back and forth.
It flips back and forth, so it looks really cool when they film it this way. But he doesn't know that she's literally in his room.
Yeah.
And he's just down on the planet. They, like, pull the lightsabers out, and they, like, hit the, like, beads that are on the planet, and so they scatter in his room. Like, the bright red beads across his white bedroom. And then what does it is they hit the stand that Vader's helmet's on.
Yeah.
And it plops down onto the planet. And he's like, oh... That's where you are.
Yeah.
And I don't know, did he pick up Grandpa's head or did he just leave it on the planet?
I don't think he picked it up.
He's over it.
I don't know. I think he should have.
So Poe, during this, Rey is like immediately like, great, so he knows where I am, like, we gotta book it. He's gonna be coming. And meanwhile, Poe and Finn are getting Chewie, like, they get him out. Of course we came back for you, and then they get recaptured.
Yeah.
After Poe takes a hit to the shoulder.
Yeah, a hard hit.
Hard hit to the shoulder.
Yeah.
And they're being taken, and they go to, like, Hux and General Pride, and he's, like, have them executed. Like, he has no fucks to give. Kill him. And then Hux, like, goes with them, and the stormtroopers are gonna kill him. And he's like, I want to do it myself. And I'm all like, do you now?
Yeah.
Do you? And then he shoots the stormtroopers, and I'm the spy. He's so funny. Like, I can't even with him sometimes. And they're like, what? I knew it! No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I liked what he said, though.
He doesn't care if they win?
He just wants Kylo Ren to lose.
Petty.
Yeah.
Petty. He tries to get...
But that's a good reason to be a spy.
Yeah.
You want your side to win, but you just don't want Kylo Ren to win.
Yeah, so just, like, give them information here and there or whatever.
I thought that was a good character moment for him.
He tries to get Finn to, like, shoot him in the shoulder so it's believable, and, like, he shoots him in the leg instead. Yeah. And then they head to the Falcon because Hux had, like, taken them to the Falcon.
Yeah.
And
because I was wondering how they were going to get back to Ochi's ship, and during the movie I forgot the Falcon was on board.
Yeah, they had the Falcon. Yep, they had the Falcon. Take him back to the Falcon. Poe's all like, "Yo, she's a survivor." It doesn't matter whatsoever about Hux being shot, though, because General Pride shoots him point blank in the chest.
Point blank in the chest without warning.
We found the spot. Tell
Bam!
Kylo we found the spot. I actually like General Pride. I like this character.
Oh, I liked him too. I thought he was great. But you get the idea in the first two movies that Hux is like number 2 in command.
Yeah.
And when you go to that board meeting, Hux is just part of it.
No, I think that he got demoted after Starkiller Base. Because General Pride specifically says after the failure of Starkiller Base.
Oh, that's true. He did say that.
So that was his baby, everything. He fucked up and he got demoted.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Because he did say that.
The only reason he got the position in the first place is because his dad.
It was an aftermath.
Yeah. So I definitely think he got demoted after that. But yeah, I'm good for General Pride's badassness. And God, he just flies across the floor. He's dead.
Oh, yeah.
He's not coming back.
No, there's... It was bang right in the chest.
Yeah.
It was instant gone.
Yeah.
Which shocked me.
Yeah, because it was just like so sudden and everything. And the way he flies back.
Yeah.
They probably had to have him on like strings.
Oh yeah.
Like, shake.
Pull him back, yeah. It's usually how they do that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. So, Kylo lands in the hangar as, Rey is trying to meet up with everybody, but she actually gives 3PO, Chewie stuff and the dagger.
Yeah.
Because, she sees Kylo Ren's ship, coming in or whatever.
Yeah, she's, wrapping it.
Because she's going back to Ochi's ship.
Yeah.
She doesn't know where the Falcon is. So she's go find the guys, basically. The droids need to go find the guys, and that's when Kylo Ren arrives, and they kind of have, a moment, circling. I mentioned it in my video review, but did it remind you when the stormtroopers are, all running around and just watching them?
Yes.
New Hope of, oh, there's a lightsaber fight going over, let's
look,
go.
shiny.
Yeah, look, shiny lights.
Yes.
Shiny lights in slow motion, but shiny lights.
Yeah, it was very much that scene. So we're calling back to Star Wars now.
Yes. And they're just circling each other, and he's baiting her once more, you don't want to know who you are, want to know why Palpatine wanted to kill a child, that type of stuff, or whatever. And you are Palpatine. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. I think that's still my reaction. I'm just okay. Is she now?
Yeah, that was my reaction. It still is.
It still is. It's going to take me a long while, because I'm just it's not I'm disappointed, but I'm just okay, cool.
Yeah, that's exactly my reaction.
It's no sort of excitement or no excitement, no disappointment, just huh.
Yeah, it's exactly it.
I don't know. More back to the rush thing and the course correction. They were desperately trying to fix things for the pissed off fans, and so they're she's a Palpatine. Who the hell hooked up with Palpatine?
Yeah.
Everyone's talking, they're we're gonna get a love story book about Palpatine and his girl now. And everyone's we don't want this. We don't want it.
Yeah, and did he look like Chancellor Palpatine, or did he look like Emperor Palpatine?
I don't know. Maybe it was a dancing girl. I don't even know.
Yeah.
It would have okay, let's say her dad is the same age as Luke and Leia. So it would have been maybe, give or take, around Sith, if that's when Luke and Leia were born.
Yeah.
Or do you think he's younger? Because that's when that's going to be the thing. If it's after that, then he's fucked up, barbecued Palpatine.
Yeah.
If it's before that, depending on her dad's age to Luke and Leia. Who knows? We'll get a book about it. That's what Star Wars does.
Yeah, I know. It's too hard to try to think of what they did.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out that timeline.
And he does, my mother is the daughter of Darth Vader, and your father was the son of Palpatine. You're his granddaughter. Ta, ta, ta.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was supposed to be no, I am your father moment, and it didn't do it.
No.
It didn't do it at all.
It was not anywhere near, no, I am your father.
Yeah. I just don't even know what to do with it. I'm accepting of it, and I like that Palpatine's back because of the tying the movies together, but it's just so rushed.
Yeah. And
so we gotta fix it.
And this takes you back to Revenge of the Sith. That was extremely rushed.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The whole Anakin turning, you could have worked that into its own
Yeah.
movie. Just that part.
Disney Plus series, hey, yo, Hayden.
Well, at least you get to hear him in this.
Yeah. And Kylo wants them to... He doesn't want to kill her, because, like, Palpatine gave him the mission, like, go kill the girl. And, like, Kylo Ren doesn't want to. He was never going to hurt her. Even in Force Awakens. Like, there was no chance he was going to do that. And he's like, he wants them to join together to defeat Palpatine. Rule the galaxy is father and son.
Yeah.
Type of situation.
Same kind of deal.
So she's processing that her grandfather's evil.
I guess that would make them Sith cousins.
Kind of. Someone was trying to say that, like, Palpatine's Vader's dad, and then so they are related and, like, awkward, but it's like, no.
I think if anybody's Vader's dad, it's
Plagueis.
Darth Plagueis.
Plagueis. I think Plagueis. If that even counts, but because, like, the Force thing, I literally think that there's just, like, no one. Maybe, like, people are going to get so mad at me. Every time I talk about midichlorians, people literally hate me.
Well, I think it was Plagueis playing around with the Force that knocked up Shmi.
So, Rey just be processing all of this stuff. And in the meantime, Poe whips the Falcon around, because they've exited the other hangar.
Yeah.
And hits, like, what is the correct terminology for... I said it wrong in my video, I feel like. When he hits, like, the back of the ship and, like, all the stormtroopers fly.
It's like the afterburners.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's
I don't even, yeah.
I would call it afterburners.
Okay.
That's what it is on a jet fighter.
Right, okay.
You know.
So he does that, and, like, Kylo is, like, fighting against it, and Rey's, like, near the edge of the thing, and so she literally, like, jumps out and whips over to
the ramp
where Finn is.
Yep.
To grab her and pull her in, and he's wearing the mask from Empire.
Yes.
I caught that on the second time.
I didn't catch it on the first time.
Yeah.
The first thing I heard about that was on your video review.
Yeah, the little thingies. Which, by the way, I didn't see those on the Falcon at Disney. I was looking. To be fair, they might have been there, because I was just like, Falcon.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, I would have been too.
So they are heading to the moon Endor system, where the second Death Star is in the ocean. Mm-hmm. So very important to say this is not the same moon as Return of the Jedi. Some people were getting that confused. Endor has several moons.
Yeah.
In Return of the Jedi, it's the forest moon of Endor. This is a different moon.
Yeah. It looks completely different.
Yeah, it's very different. It's like grassland, kind of.
Grasslands
the ocean.
and oceans,
yeah.
And very nasty oceans.
Yeah, no, thank you. And like I mentioned it in my video, but like, come on, like we didn't do anything to clean up after the war. Like the Death Star is just like in this ocean.
It's like Jakku.
I mean, I guess so. It's just
wherever ship crashes, that's where you leave it.
That's where you leave it, apparently.
I mean, how would you get it out of there?
Yeah, I don't even begin to know. But I was just like, okay, whatever. And so this brings us to our second Goonies moment.
Yes.
Where we're using the dagger
the
and
biggest
the little
one.
And the little like pop out of the dagger to go along the Death Star to tell us where the Wayfinder is, which is like the medallion from Goonies.
Yes.
And
which I've actually been to the location where that was filmed.
Yeah.
And when I was there, somebody was there with the doubloon.
Yeah.
It was a reproduction doubloon from the movie Goonies, and you can seriously line it up with the islands. And it looks just like in the movie. They lined it up perfectly, and it would point you right to where the entrance is. And
there's not a restaurant there, in case you guys are wondering.
There is not a restaurant.
It's a park.
It's a park. But it lined up, and the minute they did that in the movie,
yeah,
I totally went to Goonies for that.
Mm-hmm. True. And I know that some people were like, why would you do it like this? Like, so if the ocean, like, degrades the Death Star even more, like, you're not going to be able to find it type of thing. But at the same time, I'm like, maybe that's why. Like, only if you could find this dagger, if you knew how to do it, you can find the Wayfinder. If not, and it goes, then you don't get the Wayfinder.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it was, like, to last forever.
No.
But it's an interesting moment. And then, like, it's great that she has the Force, because you can stand on a hill and look out at it and see where it's pointing. Once you get closer to that, how are you gonna know where that is? So it's good that she has the Force, because
Yeah, it's easy to take that kind of perspective at a distance.
Yeah, as soon as you get up close.
You know, it's like if you're hiking and you're at a high spot and you take a bead off of a mountain and then you go down into the valley and you can't see the mountain anymore.
Yeah.
You lose track.
Yeah, you lose it. So this is when we meet the new group of people, that we will later find out are deserters. They're stormtroopers.
Yeah.
That deserted because they didn't want to fire on civilians. And their leader is Janna. This Janna chick. Mm-hmm. Janna Calrissian.
Janna Calrissian.
That's what the books are selling me. So they were all taken as children, and they got a message from Babu, I think it is, that, like, they were the last hope. Like, these guys are with the Resistance, they're going to be coming here. Like, don't shoot them.
Yeah.
Basically. And so they want to make it over to the Death Star, but Janna says, like, there's no way with that water right now, we'll have to wait till morning.
Yeah.
And Rey is impatient.
She gets on the skimmer.
Pretty much, she's gonna go over there, and Poe is all like, we'll just fix the Falcon, because the landing gear is broken on the Falcon, so they literally dragged this poor ship across the
belly
field.
landed again.
Again, this ship, oh my, they need like extra thickness on the bottom of this ship.
You need a
How
skid
many
plate.
times? Oh
That's
my
what
God.
you have on a 4x4 is a skid
God.
plate. So you need a skid plate on the Falcon if you guys can't keep landing right.
Yeah. So they're trying to fix the Falcon with like pieces of their like stormtrooper ship or whatever ship they had. Finn recognizes that it's first order material,
right?
And that's when they have the heart to heart that they're both were stormtroopers, and they both abandon it and everything and all that stuff. Little heart to heart on the Death Star, on the Falcon. Meanwhile, that's when Rey steals the little baby ship, the skimmer, and Finn, because BB-8 rats her out. Like, I haven't seen her.
Yeah.
And Finn's, like, wanting to go after her, and Poe's like, no, we'll just fix the Falcon, and then we'll go. And Finn's trying to get him to understand, like, what she's going through, because he has some sort of understanding of this.
Yeah.
And Poe's just like, no. Nope, not feeling it. And Finn even tries, like, and Leia understands. Well, I'm not Leia. And that's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's, like, his biggest insecurity, too. Yeah. That he won't be...
Oh, it is.
Like Leia,
it
like
totally
the next
is.
general, is his biggest insecurity. So it just like hits him right there.
Yeah.
But Janna does offer to take a different one out to the Death Star to follow her, because she's a nice person.
Yeah.
So once she sails like into the Death Star, she's climbing around it, just like Force Awakens. Her scavengerness is back.
Oh, it's totally Force Awakens.
Parallels it perfectly.
Yes, it does.
It's a little scarier though.
Oh, it's a lot scarier.
It's like, ugh.
Well, you look down and you're seeing the water sloshing through it and everything.
And she makes her way into the throne room from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the throne room all like busted out and everything. And you get the score pieces when Vader's dying. I noticed these things. Mm-hmm. It's a very like calm score piece. And she's going off to the little side room where like the Wayfinder holocron looking thing is.
Yeah.
And that's when she has, like, her dark vision.
Yes.
Where she sees, like, herself as a Sith with razor-sharp teeth and, like, the pop-out bow staff Darth Maul lightsaber thing.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. It's a good little dark moment vision for her of what could be.
Yes.
What could be of it. And then she, like, falls out and she drops it and it goes right over to where Kylo Ren is standing. And it's like, fuck.
Ah, shit.
This is probably one of, like, her lines, like, where he's like, they're just talking, and she's like, give it to me. And it's almost a little bit like, do it.
Do it.
Give it to me. And he's like, the only way you're getting to Exegol is with me. Crush, 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 crush. And so starts my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
This whole section is my favorite part of this film.
It's good.
It's starting here through a bit of it is like, this is my favorite part of the movie. So it starts the wreckage fight. Yes. Battle, lightsaber battle, on the edge of the Death Star in the middle of the ocean.
It was wicked looking. It was really good.
So cool, and I love the different looking lightsaber fights.
Yeah.
So I was totally into this like water fight. And the waves going up around them. They're both soaking wet. Don't even want to know what that was like to film.
Yeah.
But...
yeah, it had to be pretty miserable.
Yes. But it looked really great, so thank you, Adam and Daisy.
Yes, it was good. It's not on my top lightsaber battles. My top is still probably the one in Last Jedi. In
that throne room?
Snoke's throne room.
It's a really good, like choreography-wise, definitely that one is really cool. This one, I like the the aspect of it was just different. The scenery was different, and like having it along the edge of the Death Star and everything was really cool.
How does it compare to The Force Awakens in the snowy forest?
I think that visually I still like The Force Awakens one because it's so beautiful in the trees with the snow and the two lightsabers and like the steaming snow.
Yeah.
It's so pretty. Like fight-wise, obviously, Rey has grown quite a bit compared to that. That was like the first time she picked up the lightsaber.
Yeah.
So it's different, but I do like this one is much more of an emotional fight.
Oh yeah.
Like, not quite Revenge of the Sith, because that's an intense fight. That's an emotional fight with intenseness.
Yes.
Shout out to Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen.
Yes, they did so good in that. They were so fast.
So fast. It's like unbelievably fast. So they're just like, they're jumping over waves, they're doing flips here and there. At some point, Finn and Jannah make it out, and Finn is trying to run towards her, and she's like, and she force pushes him back.
Yeah.
And I, for the life of me, can't figure out what this is.
Harry Potter.
Is it Harry Potter?
It was
Like
Dumbledore.
When he throws Harry? Because I was like, maybe that's it. But
I think it is.
It like reminded me of something, like someone pushing. And then like I had mentioned Charmed in my video because like when they're fighting the water demon, in the premonition, Patty freezes Sam, and in the current, Piper freezes Leo. Sorry, that was my life once upon a time.
Yes.
So I didn't know if it was maybe Charmed.
I seem to remember Dumbledore doing it to Harry.
He does. When in Order of the Phoenix, when he's going up against Voldemort, Harry tries to stand up, and like Dumbledore has his wand and everything, and he just takes his hand and goes whoosh to take Harry back out of the way.
Yes. Yeah.
So
that's
what you went to?
That's mine. Yeah.
So all while they're having the beginning bits of their fight here, Leia starts to feel it on the base.
Yeah.
And everyone around her knows something's up. They notice her walk away really strange. And you kind of get, like, the explanation and, like, what's happening from Maz, which I thought was good. Yeah. Instead of just, like, having the viewer assume, like, she's, like, Leia feels what's happening. Like, she knows that there's only one way to reach her son now, and if she does, it will take all the power she has.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't ready. I knew it was a possibility, but I wasn't ready. I was like, oh shit. Yeah. This is it. And Connix helps her away. This is just a personal moment for me because that's Billy.
Of course.
It's her daughter, okay? I love Billy, so I love the little bits with Connix in this movie too. So Kylo and Rey are still fighting. At the same time, it's like going kind of back and forth. Like Leia's like sitting like on a bed. She has Han's Yavin medal in her hand.
Yeah.
And is focusing on that. And she's basically going to try and reach Kylo because she feels what's happening between them and all of that. And as they're fighting, Rey's getting her ass kicked. I think that she's just not in it, like with I'm going to turn to the dark side if I go too hard type of thing. Because he's kicking her ass.
She's trying to hold back.
Yeah. And he's literally about to, like, she falls, she drops her lightsaber, and he's about to, like, strike her down, and then, like, everything freezes. I love this part. Mm-hmm. I love this part so much. It, like, freezes, like, the water sound stops and everything, and I think it's one of my favorite parts in this movie just because of how they did it, too. Like, you see just the silhouette of Leia on the base. It's raining there, so it mimics the water that they're at and everything, and you literally just hear her calling out to Ben. And he freezes, he hears it, he drops his damn lightsaber, and in kind of a shitty move, like Rey grabs it and stabs him in the stomach.
Yeah.
Because she feels it too.
Yeah.
And in the moment that she stabs him, like Leia lays down and her hand goes limp.
Thump. Yeah.
And just as it does it, like the sound comes back from that moment, and Rey's like, Leia.
Yeah.
And they both feel that Leia just died.
Yeah. It was so sad.
It was so sad, but I can't even complain.
Mm-mm.
Because I love how it was done so much, and that was my biggest concern going into this movie. I love this part so much. And I know some people were like, why didn't she reach out to him earlier and do this? Because it wasn't the right moment.
It had to be the right time to do it.
You had to be the right time to bring him back. Like, it had to... And, like, this is like a one shot. If this is gonna take all her power, she gonna fucking die.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of have to choose the moment.
You gotta do that at the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And then it's, like, completely emotional because R2's there with Leia when she dies.
Yeah.
It's so sad. It's so sad. And he goes all sad.
I mean, it wasn't a shocking death to me because I knew they were going to kill her. Just because they only had a certain amount of footage to use.
Yep.
Han Solo dying. I knew that was coming.
Don't walk out on the platform!
My Fitbit was telling me my heart rate was skyrocketing when he walked out there because I knew it was going to happen. The surprising death for me was Luke in the last movie.
Yeah. It was a little surprising when he poofed away. They killed each of the original trio in each movie.
Yeah.
Han, Luke, and then Leia.
Yeah.
But like I said, I can't complain because I like how this was done. I don't think it diminishes any of Leia's character with what they did in this movie. I can't even complain.
No, it was good. It was really good.
And, like, Kylo's, like, feeling everything. Rey, you can see her tears, even through, like, the water. She's crying because she just felt Leia die. And so she reaches out and she heals Ben.
Yeah.
Which, he's like, well, this is happening.
Yeah.
You just stabbed me and now you're gonna heal me? But it's a moment. And that one of my favorite Rey lines in this is, I wanted to take your hand. Ben's hand.
Yeah.
Which is like the whole, like, describes like their whole connection thing.
Yeah.
She would totally join him. She would totally be by his side type of thing. Not saying in a Reylo type of way, because I'm not a Reylo ship or whatever. But it was never Kylo Ren. She would have taken Ben's hand.
Yeah.
Because she's even, in the last movie, she's calling him Ben.
She is.
She's trying to get him to come over because, like, she's, like, calling him Ben through the whole thing.
Yes, she is.
Until he goes all, I want to be the new leader dude.
Yeah.
Stuff. Which I haven't watched Last Jedi in a really long time.
Neither have I. I watched Rogue One a couple weeks ago, and I watched New Hope last week. It was all in my Mandalorian thing. I wanted some more Star Wars.
So then, Rey leaves in his ship.
Yeah, takes his time.
You, bro. Finn and Janna see her fly away and off planet, basically. There are people, and I forgot to watch it the second time I saw it, but people are saying that when she healed him, she healed his face scar too from Force Awakens.
Yes, heard that.
I forgot to look for that in that scene, but I've been hearing people say that. So you go to the Resistance base where everyone is surrounded by Leia's body. Her blanket covered body and everything, and it's like...
Chewbacca.
Oh my god, I can't. Poe and Finn get back to the base, and, like, Chewie's with them, and, like, the one lady, she's like, no, you guys, you don't understand, like, she's gone.
Yeah.
And this, this is, like, the most emotional part for this whole movie, not when she actually dies, but Chewbacca's reaction to Leia dying. He does a horrible, like, yell, he drops to his fucking knees. It was horrible!
Oh,
it was so sad! It was so sad! Like, all his friends are gone!
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad Lando came back, because he don't freaking know anybody.
And I did like when Lando saw Chewie.
Yeah. They had a great...
old buddy?
They had a great reaction.
Yeah, that was a great reunion for them.
Yeah, because they're like, you gotta... Not too many characters left, you know?
A little different than when Chewie grabbed him by the neck.
Chance to save it!
Oh, we understand, don't we, Chewie?
Oh, that was good team for Leia and Chewie in Empire.
Yep. But yes, it's very, very sad. Maybe he can go home now.
Maybe.
Maybe he can go home. He's got like a wife and kid. Oh. So then the like last little bit of my favorite chunk of this movie is the miracle movie moment. The miracle movie moment from the heavens.
The blew me out of the water
Yeah. And like Kylo's on the Death Star, and you just hear, "Hey kid, holy shit, Harrison Ford came back. What the fuck?"
Miracles.
Miracles. J.J. Abrams miracles. And I said it when we left the theater.
Yep, you did.
That I thought that this was to fill in a moment that Carrie couldn't do. Because I feel like maybe when they wrote it, this was Leia coming as a Force ghost to talk to him.
I agree with you.
They couldn't do it because Carrie couldn't film it. They were limited in what they could do. So Harrison came back, and it was a memory moment for Kylo.
Yeah, it wasn't a Force ghost.
Han Solo is not Force sensitive.
It was his memory.
His memory talking to him, and the whole moment like is parallel to Force Awakens conversation.
Yes, it's totally.
It's great. And so thank you, Harrison, for coming back for that moment. Thank you.
And I have to think he came back because in honor of Carrie.
That's what I'm going with, because it really feels like it could have been like Leia as a Force ghost talking to him, but you can't do that. Have the dad come back. Which makes sense, because throughout all of this, even like in the last one and this one, Rey keeps mentioning like, you're still not over the fact that you killed your father.
Yeah.
Like, so maybe
it's still in his head.
It's still in his head, so maybe this really was his like last little bit. Like Leia pushed him, and then the memory bit, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
Yeah.
Before he chucks the lightsaber.
Yeah.
And I love it.
It was great.
And it, like, yeah, the lines are very similar, and then, like, Dad.
Yeah, he turns back around and he's gone.
And I know. He said, I know.
I know. I know.
Totally made me cry. He said, I know. Because a lot of people wanted that to be said in Force Awakens. So maybe it's good that they waited.
Yeah, I think it was good that they waited. But it was good. It was emotional.
Yes.
It was really good. And Harrison looked just like he did in Force Awakens.
He did.
His hair, his little bit of Indiana Jones beard going on.
And just like that, he becomes Ben Solo again.
Yep.
Goodbye, Kylo Ren. Fuck off. So to prove a point, Palpatine's pissed. He's like, the Princess of Alderaan put a kink in my plan or whatever. So he's talking to General Pride, I think. And you kind of get the feeling that General Pride's been working for him for a while.
Yeah.
Like, decades.
Yeah.
And he's, like, they're talking about, like, using the Star Destroyer technology to prove a point to the Resistance and, like, so take out a planet. And so they move in and they blow up Kijimi, which they had just been on to see Babu and everything.
Right.
They blew up Kevin Smith.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe he got off the planet. Maybe he'll get a Disney Plus series.
He's truly Silent Bob now.
Oh, sad. So you get at the Resistance base, Poe talking to Leia's body, which is really sad too. Like, he doesn't think that he can lead like Leia did, which goes back into, like we said, the insecurities of him being the new general, because she left him in charge.
Yes, she did.
Which you already knew was going to happen, because he was taking the lead in Last Jedi.
Yeah, and she was setting him up for that.
Yes. So that was important.
What are you looking at me for? Follow him.
Yeah. That was a Carrie line. But
Totally.
I'll take it. And then Lando shows up and, like, is telling him about, like, hope and, like, we didn't know what we were doing either. We just had friends. We had each other, and that's how we won the war. Yeah. And everything. And you can tell, like, Poe takes this as, like, oh, this is a really famous general. Like, he knows what he's talking about. He's giving me some encouragement type of situation. So it kind of, works out. And then during that little bit, I think Dio and BB-8 are talking to Finn, I think. Yeah. And they're basically, like, it kind of comes out like Dio has more information about Exegol.
Yeah. Because
he was Ochi's droid. So he has the information.
Yeah. His abused droid.
His poor little abused droid. Hopefully someone adopted him. During this, after Rey flew off in true Jedi form, she went to go hide on Luke's island with the porgs.
Yep.
And she's blowing up the ship. And
she burns it.
She burns it. I did hear that her white robe was supposed to be for Leia. Like, New Hope Leia. Like, when you first see her.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what it was supposed to be. And she's, like, blowing that up and everything, and she looks at the lightsaber, and then she's like, oh, fuck this. And she throws it into the flames, but a Force Ghost grabs it
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Another course correction.
Oh, another course correction. Yeah. And he's all like, a
Jedi's
Jedi's weapon deserves more respect. And, ooh, people say that's a dig at Rian Johnson.
Yes.
People are like, ooh, because he tossed the lightsaber behind him. It's like, maybe. But at the same time, you know, Luke's progression, because at the start of the movie he was like that, but by the end, he was the famous Luke Skywalker giving the galaxy hope.
Exactly.
So it's Luke's progression. It's fine. I don't think it necessarily has to be a dig at Rian Johnson or Last Jedi. Probably is, but
it probably is, and it's definitely a course correction.
Yeah, and he's just like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, he was so good.
And she's like, "I don't want to do it. I don't want to. I'll stay here like you, and I don't want to do this, and I'm gonna be evil and all of this stuff." And he basically tells her that he was wrong. Which is another course correction. Because I think people's biggest issue is how they handled Luke. Ooh. And he's like, because you're a Palpatine. And she's like, what? And he's like, Leia knew too. So basically they're saying that Luke and Leia both knew who she was.
Yeah.
Leia chose to still train her. The only that's been brought to my attention, and I agree with, that kind of goes with that, is in Last Jedi, when he's trying to, like, meditate with her, and he's like, you went straight for the dark.
Yeah.
People are like, that's when he realized who she was.
That could be.
And that will flow a little bit better. Maybe.
Now the question is, did Han know?
Who she was?
Yeah.
No? How would he know?
Because of the whole question with Maz, the who's the girl.
Oh my god, we never got that answer!
No, that's why I'm bringing that up. Did Leia know back then? So Han would have known too.
Back then, like... So do you mean, did Leia know, like they knew that Palpatine had a kid or something, and then he had a grandkid or something? Or they suspected or something?
That's kind of what I'm wondering, is if they knew about this family tie, so that when Rey showed up, they could feel it, maybe? You know, she could. And I don't know if Han would have had any idea of that.
You're right.
But, you know, we'll never get an answer to that.
No, you'll never get, yeah. It's interesting, because, that is one of the big things in Force Awakens. I wanted to know what their conversation was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we still don't know how she got the lightsaber.
Apparently they described that as like a mining colony or something. Found it, and she paid like an insane amount because she knew how important it was and that she needed it later on. Some sort of text confirmed
Bespin
that.
was a mining.
Yeah. Some sort of mining people found it, and then she paid like a shit ton, and then she just kept it in her bar.
In Obi-Wan's chest.
In Obi-Wan's chest. Yes. God, all those references. I remember Force Awakens just came out. I feel like we were just dissecting that Force vision.
I know, it's quick.
And it's over. It's over now.
Yeah.
Oh. So Luke and her are just like, talking, and like, he's trying to give her encouragement, like, we knew who you were, Leia saw your soul or whatever, she still trained you, so I should give you something of Leia's. And he gives her Leia's lightsaber. I didn't know Leia had a lightsaber.
Neither did I.
Why we skip all these years with Leia and a lightsaber? Makes me sad. I need a Disney Plus series immediately.
Yeah.
And Alaric can play Han, and I don't know, Sebastian, Bucky can play Luke.
There you go.
And I don't know who's going to play Carrie, though. That's the problem.
That's
one of a kind right there.
Yeah.
Even Billy doesn't really look like her.
No.
I need something. But yeah, so he gives her Leia's lightsaber, and we actually get a flashback that I had heard the rumor of this flashback, but I was like, they're not going to do it. And then they actually freaking did it, of Luke and Leia training with lightsabers. And they pop up the mask, and it's young Luke and young Leia.
That was awesome.
Yeah. So I like little things like that. But apparently Leia felt that if she continued the path of the Jedi, her son would die, so she was giving Luke the lightsaber for somebody else it was meant for.
Yeah.
Who wants to tell her that her son died anyway? Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't really understand that, but I mean... everyone's always debated if Leia was stronger in the Force than Luke.
Right.
So Luke embraced it more, but she was more of a natural.
Yeah.
People have debated or whatever. So then Rey has both lightsabers, and he's like, you should take both to Exegol. And she's like, how am I supposed to go? Like, I just burned my ship. And I don't know how to get there because I burnt the Wayfinder. But, like, she digs out the Wayfinder, and she's still like, how am I going to get there? And then Mr. Force Ghost lifts the X-Wing out the ocean.
And I hit you in the theater. I go,
yep.
No, she's going to get there.
Yes. Question that people have. In Last Jedi, his, like, door and other stuff were built from parts of the X-Wing. And I guess in the novel it says, like, he broke it so he couldn't fly it. Like, he used pieces of the X-Wing. So does that, like, not... Because
it's kind of iffy.
Iffy. But he just lifted it up. It's like a Dagobah moment.
Mm-hmm.
And... Music and all, and Luke's last little cool moment type of... As, like, a badass Jedi.
It was pretty cool.
Yep. And then Rey is gonna fly in the X-Wing, and she puts on the hat, and the helmet, and it looks like Force Awakens when she's goofing around.
Yep.
That's what it reminds me of. So back on the base, Poe makes Finn a general, because, you know, like Lando said, they need friends to do this. He can't do it alone, and Finn's all like, oh, thank you. But I also have information on Exegol, because Dio. And so they have, like, bits and pieces of it, but they don't know how to fly it because they don't have the Wayfinder. And they'll literally, if they go in blind, they'll die.
Yeah.
To get to Exegol. And they notice, because of R2,
mm-hmm.
R2 is, like, Luke's X-Wing. And 3PO's... Oh, by the way, they gave 3PO his mind back.
Yes.
I keep forgetting to add that. R2 gave it back. So that's good.
They backed up his memory. And
yep.
And he says, oh, I'm about to go on a mission. Oh,
with Rey. Oh, you already did that.
You already did that.
Thank you so much. And 3PO thinks he's crazy. He's like, he thinks that Luke Skywalker's X-Wing is, like, flying or whatever.
Yeah.
And Finn knows that it's Rey plotting the course for them.
Yeah, because she's leaving, like, markers.
Yeah, so if they just follow that, they'll be able to fly into Exegol.
She's dropping the Goonie breadcrumbs.
The Goonie breadcrumbs. Does Goonies have breadcrumbs?
No.
No, I didn't think so. So then it's like the whole... Resistance getting ready for battle. And this is where you get Poe's speech, you know, our mothers and fathers didn't fight for this for nothing or whatever. And it's everyone, you know, hugging goodbye. It's everyone getting in their ships. And the basic plan is for the Falcon with Lando and Chewie to go get backup.
Yep.
Go to the core worlds, go to the capital, see if there's anybody to help. And then the rest of the ships will head to Exegol, is the plan. So right. Lando's going to be flying the Falcon again.
Yes.
And he's wearing the same outfit from Solo.
Yeah,
it's the same outfit.
Donald Glover's yellow shirt.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Which was cool. That was a cool tie back to Solo, you know. Because Donald Glover did such a good job.
Oh, I love Donald Glover. And you also get, while the Resistance is, like, getting ready and they're making their plan and everything, the one guy, the pilot guy that was with Lando in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
he's there.
I know, he should have said hi to Lando.
They should have said hi. They like... So yeah, everybody's getting ready. So the Resistance plan as they fly into Exegol and see the 6 million ships.
Yeah.
I don't even know where you begin to start with that. And they're not even like TIE fighters. They're freaking Star Destroyers.
Yeah, they're huge
Star Destroyers. They're huge. So their main goal is to get like the tracking system down.
Yeah.
So that those ships can't find their way out of Exegol, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Doesn't exactly work that way. But that's like their plan of attack or whatever. So they're going to do like a ground crew.
An air assault and a ground assault.
Yes, as usual. But like the ground assault is like on ships, not on the ground.
Yeah.
It's like on the top of ships up in air. And a lot of people... I took it that... the Star Destroyers were in the atmosphere of Exegol.
That's what I took too.
So I kept saying like the air battle because it's not really a space battle.
No.
Like they're in the atmosphere of this planet.
Yeah.
So
they're still within atmosphere.
Yeah. Okay. That's
they have what I took too.
Because I didn't understand some of the if they're in space like that wouldn't
work.
How
are they going to breathe?
How are they going to any of that? Like it didn't really make sense. So General Pride actually catches on to what their plans are, and so instead of having the main tracker, there's a word for this, and I can't think of what it is.
Yeah.
whatever. They switch it to his lead ship. So they'll just lead the fleet out with their tracking system, basically. And so, like, in the middle of, like, the attack, like, Finn is like, okay, change of plans. We're going to land on the Star Destroyer. And we're going to, like, attack it that way so that if we get that one down, they still won't be able to leave.
Yeah.
And, like, Finn just, like, takes charge. Way to go, Finn. He's pretty much in charge of, like, the ground thing and Poe's in the sky.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And in a hilarious moment, the Final Order attempts to jam the speeders.
Yeah, jam their speeders.
But the shuttle is coming to land down, jam the speeders. And the guy's like, I can't. They're not on speeders. And they're on space horses.
Space horses.
From the moon of Endor. Mm-hmm. Which I think is great.
No, that was great. That brings back your Ewok moment.
Yeah.
Where they're not technical.
Yeah, they're just, like that. I like these reference of actual creatures better than whatever Harry Potter horses were in the last one.
No, these look like something Star Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, I always liked the way they took the elephants and turned them into banthas.
Yeah.
That looks Star Wars, you know.
And they took a horse and turned it into...
They took a horse and turned it into an alien horse instead of a CGI video game looking animal.
Whatever that was. So, meanwhile, on the actual ground, so it's like 3 levels of fight right now. You have on the ground at Exegol, Rey is going into the temple, and you have Finn on the Star Destroyers doing that, and Poe is flying up around leading the X-Wings.
Yes.
So we're having like a family reunion where Rey gets to meet her grandfather.
Yes.
Grandfather Palpatine. And he calls her Empress Palpatine.
Yeah.
That gave me like, ooh, that's not good.
Yeah. That was a cold chill moment.
Not good.
Where is Padme?
Oh yeah, that too.
That still gives me cold chills to hear Vader's voice saying that. Of course, that's right before the horrible. No.
Oh, they could have just left it at that. So Rey basically tells him, like, I'm here to end the Sith, not lead them. And there's like choirs of Sith followers in this arena.
Yeah.
Like, witnessing their family reunion.
Yes. Now, is that like the ghosts of all the Darths before?
See, I don't think they're actual, like, Siths. I think they're just followers. Like, they're just, like, minions.
Cult members.
Yeah.
Okay.
That are just following Palpatine. They look like little Q-tips.
Yeah, they look like Q-tips
in a pod race.
Yeah.
Is how I took it. And, like, that's who built the things. They don't have to be, like, Siths or anything like that. They're just followers of the cult.
Cultists.
Yeah, like Chit was a follower of the Force of the Jedi, you know, and all that. So that's how I took it.
Okay, I like that. It was confusing, though, when watching it.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, there's, like,
there's
people.
a shit ton of people here.
It's just like, okay, we're doing this on Broadway? What are we doing?
Yeah.
So Palpatine says he never wanted to kill her. He wants her here. So she fell into the trap. He wants, like, her to kill him so they can, like, merge and become one Empress Palpatine. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the words were said to become one. I go, you're quoting the
Spice Girls! I guess. I mean, that's because he's, like, not as strong as he was because he's kind of like a zombie. He's missing fingers.
Yeah, he's pretty haggard. So
he wants, like, her to, like... He still wants to be in charge. He just wants her pick me up.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. And then he's like, she's not down for it. She's still fighting, like, the dark side or whatever. And he's like, if you don't do this, then you see all your friends up there? They're all gonna die. All your new family you've created, they're gonna die right now. If you don't do it.
Yep.
Which is very Return of the Jedi, too. When he shows Luke.
Oh, yeah.
Shows Luke out the thing. So he's basically, like, forcing her to save her friends and become this Empress.
Yeah.
But guess who shows up?
Ben Solo.
Ben Solo is running in, looking so different.
Yeah.
So different. Adam Driver looks completely different.
It's called acting.
No, it must be acting because I have not found Adam Driver to be attractive throughout this whole thing. I was like, no, Kylo with his emo-ness and his little whatever tantrums. He comes running through this temple as Ben Solo, and he is damn good to look at. So I kind of wish there was more of that because I love this whole moment. And he's like running in. He chucked his lightsaber. He's only got a blaster.
He's got a blaster.
He's shooting people like Han Solo.
Yeah, he does the no look, turn around, blam.
Yep.
Shooting people.
Yep. And then you get him going up against the Knights of Ren. They kind of circle him.
Yeah.
Basically. Knights of Ren. Whatever. And he doesn't have a weapon. And so, like, it's, like, back and forth between him, like, fighting through the temple. Which, by the way, my friend mentioned that he doesn't have any lines. He says, ouch, when he drops into the temple.
Yeah,
that's his last line.
Yeah.
Like, his last full-on lines is with Han.
Yeah.
Which is...
Odd.
Yeah. So he doesn't have a weapon. He's being circled. Rey's, like, getting ready to kill Palpatine so they can become one. The Sith choirs are singing. And, like, they have, like, their Force connection bit. And he's like, yes, like, yeah, I like your idea. That's the look on his face. It's like, I like this plan.
Yeah.
And so she, like, leans her hand back. And then when she comes back, the lightsaber's gone.
Yeah.
And then Ben pulls it out. And he has it. And in a lovely Han Solo move to the Knights of Ren, he's just like, yep.
Yep.
And he goes, like, full force. And his fighting style is completely different, too. Like, good on, like, the choreographers. Because he's not really fighting like Kylo Ren in these moments, either.
No, it's more like a Jedi.
Like a Jedi. Like, it's changed. So I like those little...
It's not as aggressive. It's more fluid.
Yeah, fluid, like, very, like, graceful, like, ballet type shit. Instead of just, like, whack, whack, whack.
And that one, the guy swings at him and he puts the saber up on his back.
Yep, and it hits it, yeah.
And hits it, and then he turns around and goes. It was a good fight.
Yeah, good
he
fight.
He used the Force to throw the one guy.
Force push some people, yep. Yeah, it was really good with all of his Ben Solo-ness. And at the same time, like, while he's doing that, Rey, I don't know if I'm right or not, I feel like she gave him Luke's.
She did.
So then she has Leia's,
and she's Leia's hooked on her back.
And so she grabs Leia's, and then she's going up against the Emperor's Red Guards that do nothing anyway. And so they're, like, both battling different parts of the temple, and then they kind of come together, like, share a look, and then they're both, like, up with the lightsabers, like, phew.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's
good little badass moments, or whatever. And the Emperor, like, chucks their lightsabers, like, lifts them up, and then he notices, like, the Force connection, because it starts to heal his fingers as he blasts them, basically.
Yeah. The
like,
Force dyad.
Yeah. And he's, like, performing in freaking Star Wars version of a... what's that called? Dementor kiss.
Well, yeah.
And is, like, healing, and he's saying, like, the connection of the two will heal the one.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, I don't need my granddaughter no more. I'll just suck them dry, and then I'll be back. All that fun stuff.
I'll be back.
I'll be back. So up in the, like, air battle, it's not going well.
No.
There's too many. It's not going well whatsoever. I mean, you lose Snap.
Snap Wexley.
He crashes, and Poe takes that hard.
Yeah.
It's not good. And, like, Poe is losing, like, hope, and it's just, like, not good. And when he's like, my friends, I'm so sorry, that breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Because he's trying his best to lead them. He thought it was a good plan. It's just not going good. And, but Lando's voice comes in.
Yep.
And that's the moment, which, now that I think about it, they showed this freaking moment in the trailer.
Yeah.
That was a mistake.
No, they showed the Falcon coming in like
with
that.
All
with
of the,
all the ships
yeah,
around
that's a mistake.
Yeah.
So, but still, the moment was still not ruined for me because there is millions of ships. Like, there's so many ships.
Yeah.
So many. And the Ghost is next to the Falcon, I hear.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it, but I don't even want to think about how many cameos are in these shots.
Oh, there's got to be tons.
There has to be tons of ship cameos.
I mean, they put the Ghost in there just to tie Rebels in.
Yeah,
and
it's up front.
And it's up front, right next to the Falcon.
Yep.
And the Ghost was also in Rogue One.
Yeah, yep, it was.
And when I watched Rogue One the other day,
yeah,
I specifically heard General Syndulla report to command.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the first... I knew it was there, but I've never been able to actually hear it. And I heard it, and I just went, ah! Because I loved Star Wars Rebels. I thought it was great.
I really like that show.
But yeah, when you hear Lando's voice.
Mm-hmm. But you're like, he says something like you're not alone or something like that, or
yeah,
you have or something.
Something
it's
to that
everybody.
Effect. And what that moment was to me was, Cap, you read me on your left.
Yes, it's every Avenger showing up. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
That was the moment that went Avengers to me because Lando sounded like Falcon.
Yeah. That's it. Oh, that's good.
Because
that's
I
really
love
good.
that moment when
That's my favorite moment
Cap,
from
you
that
read
movie.
me on your left.
Avengers Assemble.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch that movie again.
Yeah.
So you get a couple different like cameo things within these moments. You have Zori back with Babu.
Yep.
She saved Babu. They didn't blow up.
Yep, that was cool.
This is great. We can have future Babu movies.
There you go.
And Wedge.
Wedge
Is back.
Oh, see, I've been saying forever, how come Wedge was in Star Wars, Empire, and Jedi, and then they didn't bring him back? Even though I didn't realize it was Wedge.
I hit you in the theater, too.
Yeah, you hit me in the theater because...
We're very abusive, you see. When moments happen in movies, we smack each other.
Yeah, I thought it was Anthony Daniels out of the C-3PO costume.
Right.
Because
they look alike.
He had a cameo in Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones, he's in the bar.
He and...
Jar
Jar. Can't think of the actor's name. But they both had an out of the makeup cameo moment. And I thought it was Anthony Daniels. Because it's a quick shot.
Mm-hmm. He's like, nice flying, Lando.
Yeah, and
he's in his X-Wing jumpsuit.
But no helmet.
Because...
He's in the gunning
he's
turret
in the
of
Falcon.
the Falcon.
Took me when I watched it the second time, I was like, oh wait, he's in the Falcon.
Yeah. He's in the gunner's turret of the Falcon. I got that from the podcast I listened to.
Which is good because I feel like the helmet would have like helped disguise who he is, and it's like, no, you want to see like what.
No, you want to see him.
Yeah, so that was good to put him in the Falcon.
Yeah, and he was rogue leader.
Yeah.
By the time of Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
So he's an important, smaller character, but there's a lot of Wedge fans.
There's a lot of Wedge fans, so that I'm glad
and he was
came
in
back.
Rebels.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So massive fight, yes, and another really great line for me is like the final order. General Pride is like, they don't have a navy. Like, where'd all these people come from? And the guy's like, it's not a fleet. They're just people.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. Like, oh, it's so good.
It's good.
So good, especially to quote unquote end this all. It's just all the people coming together to end the bad guys.
Yeah.
I love it. So back on the ground, Rey and Kylo are pretty freaking wiped out. They're like both on the ground, but Ben does try to stand up and everything, and like Emperor is all like, so goes the last Skywalker, and he tosses him down the cave Last Crusade thing.
Yeah.
Does it look like Last Crusade to you?
Yeah.
At the end of Last Crusade where there's like the fog to where you can't see, like when the bitch falls down you can't see her. The same thing happened to Ben.
Yeah.
Although he hits the edge of the thing first.
Yeah.
I think some ribs broke there.
Well, yeah. He was definitely hurting unit after that.
Yeah. And then Palpatine starts using the Force Lightning to hit all of the ships up above. And they're all losing power. They lose connection. They don't have comms. They don't have anything.
Yeah, he's not destroying the ships.
No.
He's just like shutting them down.
Yeah.
It's like an ion torpedo or the ion cannon.
Yep. They're just...
It's an EMP.
And they all just kind of like go down.
Yeah.
They're starting to fall or whatever. And meanwhile, Rey is like still drained and everything, but she's like looking up at like the lightning.
Yeah.
And
laying
everything.
on her back, looking up.
Mm-hmm. And that's when she starts be with me. Be with me. And freaking all the Jedi start speaking.
Yeah. That's badass.
It's a good moment. I keep trying to tell it because maybe we could have seen some Force ghosts in this moment. Would have been cool. But I'll take the voices.
No, the voices are good. I mean, I was expecting a Force ghost party in this movie.
Me too.
That's what I said in the last how many shows. That is what I was expecting. But the voices I thought were really good.
Yeah. And you have like everyone. You got like both Obi-Wans, Alec Guinness and Ewan McGregor. You have Hayden Christensen. You have Mace Windu. You have Qui-Gon. You have Yoda. You have Kanan from Rebels. You have Ahsoka. You have some other Jedis that were
Unduli.
From
Clone Wars.
From the Clone Wars,
and
you have
the other girl Jedi that was with her, not Adigalia.
You just have like so many people there. And some of the lines, my favorite line in all of this is from Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan. These are your final steps. Because it goes right back to Force Awakens with these are your first steps. Because I spent so much time dissecting that scene, I immediately heard these are your final steps.
Bring balance to the Force as I did.
Yeah,
from
Hayden. Yep, for Anakin. And then, like, I thought it was a good one for Liam Neeson, Qui-Gon, you know, all of the Jedi live in you now, because that just feels like a him line.
It does.
It feels like a Qui-Gon line.
It does.
And then everyone's like, you know, rise, Rey, rise, Rey, Rey. You even get Alec Guinness's Rey.
Yeah.
From the Afraid that they edited.
Yep.
You get that back, and it's just everyone like, rise, rise. It's a pretty intense moment. I like it.
It's really good.
I like nostalgia. Sorry.
So do I.
I like
the callbacks.
I like the callbacks and all of that stuff. And then the final voice is Luke. And is Rey, the Force will be with you always. And then she stands up and she has she grabs her lightsaber.
Ching, 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 ching.
Yeah.
Bouncing across the ground.
Yes.
And
yes.
that Luke line, that's a remake of Obi-Wan's line. Remember, Luke, the Force will be with you always.
Mm-hmm. What was surprising is in one of the trailers, I think, for this one, they had Luke and Leia both say it. And I'm almost a little surprised that Leia wasn't in the voices.
Yeah.
Because she was, I mean, let's be real, Rey was much closer with Leia than Luke.
Yeah.
She was, like, who trained her. Even, like, I mean, we hugged each other when we didn't know each other instead of hugging Chewbacca.
Exactly.
I mean, there's something there. Oh my gosh. So the Palpatine starts the Force lightning and she's using the saber to block it.
Yep.
So glad she knows that. Luke didn't at the end of his movies.
He threw his lightsaber away.
And she's like blocking it or whatever. And this is a good moment, but it just like gave me the Marvel feels. You know, he's like, I am all the Sith. And she's, I am all the Jedi. Yeah. And it's just like, and I am Iron Man. Like, it's so that moment to me. But I still really like it.
So do I.
And she uses the other lightsaber and she's crossing it,
mm-hmm.
which I think is cool. I don't know if we've really seen like the two lightsabers over each other like that used against Force lightning. Not against Force lightning.
We've seen it to cut Count Dooku's head off.
Yeah, that doesn't count. That was like you do swords like that. I mean, like as a blocking, like a
no
as a blocking defense.
We've only seen the blocking with a single.
Yeah.
Because once
Dooku.
Anakin had the two lightsabers.
Yeah.
After Obi-Wan got tagged in the leg in clones.
Yeah.
There was no Force lightning going on. Mm-hmm. It was two lightsabers swinging.
Right.
One for blocking, one for attack.
And then his face like starts peeling off. It's like too much power or whatever. And he like looked at the Ark of the Covenant and his face is peeling off and all that jazz.
It's too much unlimited power.
Yeah. And so he just like poofs.
Yep.
In Kevin Smith's video. He's like, and he poofed away until they need him for another movie.
Exactly. That's funny. I gotta watch that.
You need to, it's so good.
I usually listen to his podcast, but haven't been able to get it to download. I'm dying to hear his review.
You gotta watch his video. So, like, up in the sky, like, you have, like, Poe's flight people are doing much better now. They've got power back. The lightning isn't going. Finn actually stayed on the Star Destroyer, the main Star Destroyer, to try and take out more of it.
Yeah.
To ensure that it was gone. And so that was him and Jana that stayed. I keep wanting to say Jaina.
Yeah.
Jana. It's like Hannah, but with a J. Jana. And Rose gets another moment in this, like, talking to him, like, she, like, doesn't want him to stay behind or whatever. Yeah. She's there with Connix, and I don't know Hobbit guy's character name.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is.
I don't know. But they're on the ground there and everything. And let's just take a moment. Connix's outfit looks exactly like the end of Return of the Jedi with Leia, so she's, like, mimicking her mom.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I like it. I like the feels.
Yes.
And
we have the Red Sith Troopers coming in that battle.
Yeah. Which is interesting.
I didn't realize that there were going to be Red Sith Troopers till I got a Happy Meal.
You got a Happy Meal?
Yeah.
There's toys.
Yeah, Star Wars toys.
That's hilarious.
I actually got a Finn the last time.
So they're doing really well, and like they're successfully taking down that Star Destroyer. But the problem is Finn and Jana are still on it.
Yeah.
And so Poe's going to try and go in, and they're like, you're not going to make it. And he's like, I'm fast enough. And then Lando's like, not as fast as this one or whatever, because he's got the Falcon that zooms in over to grab them as the Star Destroyer is starting to fall to the ground. And they use the top hatch again.
Yeah.
To get in. They just like jump on and Chewie goes and grabs them.
Yep. And I thought that was awesome.
Yep.
Just the way the Falcon came in and they were able to just jump over to the Falcon. And
Finn is definitely character progression too, because he was ready to head out to the Reaches and be done. And now he's like leading as a general and all. Like, it's definitely character progression for Finn.
Oh, very much so.
And I like all of the new trio. So.
I do too.
So as they're in the Falcon, Finn feels Rey die. Because she wasn't doing good after her little Force thing against the Palpatine, and she dies.
Great dead eyes.
Great dead eyes. And Finn feels it. And so he confirmed. He's freaking Force sensitive, confirmed. It's just like all of the other instances. Obi-Wan and Alderaan, Leia and Han, Yoda and Order 66. It's all the same. He feels Rey die.
Yeah.
Which is horrible.
Yeah, when I saw her dead eyes, I immediately thought back to Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Riley had good dead eyes too.
Oh my god, shit.
That's like, I feel like that's like a really specific, amazing acting skill, because I can't hold my eyes open like that.
I know, no.
No, and she looked really, I wonder if they did something to her face, because she almost looked like, I mean, sorry to bring up Twilight, but in Breaking Dawn where they sunk Kristen Stewart's cheeks in with digital CGI, like they kind of look like maybe they did something like that.
They did that to Robert Downey Jr. in the beginning of Endgame.
Yeah, where they sunk it in because they looked in his
cheeks,
so he looked ill,
more gaunt.
Yeah. So I wondered if they did something like that, because she didn't look like
she
looked bad.
Yeah,
she did. And then you have Ben climbing up, because last Skywalker didn't die yet. Yet. And he finds her dead, and like he's like holding her, and then he goes ahead and does healing to her.
Yeah.
Question: why didn't she immediately disappear?
I don't know.
Was it meant to be in the Force? Like, was this like he was supposed to? You know what I mean? Maybe she wasn't supposed to poof yet.
Yeah, it could be.
Because that was gonna happen. But I was like, why didn't she? You just said she has all the Jedi.
And Leia didn't poof right away.
That's very different connection wise. Yeah, that's true. So I guess it depends. You don't have to. Maybe you can choose when you poof. Because I feel like Obi-Wan's was very dramatic. Like, bye.
Oh, it was.
Bye-bye, kid. Run, Luke, run.
I'm out of here.
And she starts moving her hand. She comes back to life. He's all smiley. He's so cute when he's not evil. Like, apparently I need to see more Adam Driver things where he's not evil, because he was so cute.
I hear he's in something where he might be Oscar nominated.
Yeah, something with Scarlett Johansson, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's a Netflix show or movie. I don't know. I'll have to watch it. And, you know, they share a kiss. Do with that what you will. I'm not a Reylo. Rey and Kylo shipper, but...
I go, oh my god, they're gonna kiss.
They're gonna kiss.
I really didn't want them to.
Yeah.
That's why I liked Rogue One.
Yeah, where they did
Cassian and Jyn were on the beach, and they had that moment, but they didn't.
Yeah. I get it. People like... I don't really know if I could get behind them, because he did so many bad things.
Yeah.
But I get it. And, like, they killed him. He dies. He lays back down, and he poofs away.
Yeah. And
Rey's literally like... Some people are saying that they reversed the footage, like some Reylo shippers. If you look at, like, gift sets out of it or anything, it looks weird, like almost like she was bringing it back up or something. And they're like, did they decide to kill him in post-editing? I don't know. This is like, Star Wars fans are crazy.
Yeah.
As fuck.
We all are.
People be crazy. But, yeah, he poofs away, and that is when Leia's body disappears.
Yeah. And
Maz is standing, and she's just like, yeah. Almost like that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Or something. So can they go visit, like, Han in, like, a different afterlife?
I don't know.
Because that's not very cool, man. I feel like we should be able to, like, jump, like, go visit our friend.
Yeah, I still don't quite understand why Ben poofed. Because it had to do with the training that made you poof. Because Qui-Gon didn't disappear. Anakin turned good at the end, and he didn't disappear.
That's a good point.
That's the only thing that...
Luke would have known.
Luke would have known.
Okay.
Yoda knew.
Yoda knew. Leia probably knew if she trained with Luke.
Yeah.
Maybe it was because of his connection to Leia.
Now that could be.
It went with Leia.
Because they did poof at the same time.
Yeah. It would be the connection to Leia.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, I could take that. That's good.
And then it was definitely like he had already like redeemed himself or whatever, but I feel like the final sacrifice of bringing Rey back definitely redeemed and made him Jedi worthy to poof.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like all of his redemption, like I was one of those people that was like, I really don't want him to have redemption because I think it's horrible. You killed fucking Han Solo. Like you chucked your dad down a shaft. Like that's fucked up. But I like how they handled it.
Yeah.
So I'm good with it.
Yeah, I didn't want him to have redemption either, but the way they did it, I'm very much okay with it.
Yeah. This is why I know, and like Rey and Kylo people, they really wanted him to be alive and like them to do like a new Jedi Order together and have babies and all that stuff. But like I just don't. Could she have really fully gotten over the fact that she watched him murder Han?
No.
Like, or how do you bring him to Christmas with like Finn and Poe? You know, like her new family. How do you bring Kylo Ben to Christmas?
Yeah.
He's tortured Poe. Like he lightsabered up Finn's back. Like, how do you bring him to I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
So I like how maybe it was good that he disappeared. Although I would have really liked more Ben Solo.
He was great there.
I liked it. But that's like what I wanted from the beginning. I wanted more Solo kids. So you, as like the victory, if you will, you see Bespin, Cloud City, with a Star Destroyer going behind it.
Yep.
You see Endor with Wicket, and it is Warwick Davis.
Yep.
And he's got like a wife or a kid or something, and another destroyer's following. And there's been a couple jokes, people like the Ewoks are like, "Damn, these people are still fighting."
Jakku.
You get Jakku, yes, more wreckage.
More wreckage for the scavengers.
Fresh pieces, everyone.
Yeah.
And then more like on base, more of the Resistance celebration. You get the first same couple kiss during, and everyone was freaking out over that. Everyone just hugging and celebrating, and Maz comes over to Chewie.
Yeah.
And gives him Han's medal. It's only been years in the making.
I loved that.
I loved it too. And that was definitely a fan tie-up for people. There's a lot of stuff that was like for fans in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah. During the celebration, Lando meets Jannah, which is apparently his kid, which people are very mixed feelings about.
Yeah.
With like her having to be someone or something or other, but apparently his daughter was taken during some bit, is what they're saying now, and so they're gonna find out in a book that you're a Calrissian.
Yeah. I don't know how to think about that because he was kind of hitting on her.
I don't know if he was. You said that. Like, I mean, like I said, everyone should be aware of who they're related to in the Star Wars universe. But, like, I don't know if he was. It almost seemed like he was just like, oh, this kid doesn't know where she's from. Like, let's help her.
Yeah.
I don't know. And Rey comes in with the X-Wing, and the trio get to reunite. She's all bloody, and they're all, like, both beaten a little bit, too. And they get a big ol' hug. Cuteness.
It was good.
Rey takes the Falcon and flies to Tatooine. And you get to see the Lars homestead.
Yep.
That looks exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
It's exactly the same. And she's cute. Like, she gets, like, a little bit of her innocence. Because in the first movie, she was so innocent. And then, like, the progression is quite different for her. And she, like, finds a piece of metal and she slides down, you know, like she did on Jakku and everything. And she's just walking around looking at everything. And then she ties the two lightsabers together and, like, sinks them in the sand.
Yeah, that was cool.
Everyone's like, who wants to tell Anakin that she sunk his lightsaber in sand on Tatooine?
True.
I hate sand. It gets everywhere.
And then she turns on her lightsaber, which is yellow.
Yes.
Of the bow staff. Been waiting for that since the first trailer came out for this movie.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, she has a bow staff? Needs to be a lightsaber.
Yes.
So I'm very pleased with that.
And I like seeing the yellow. You've seen yellow in video games and stuff.
Yeah, it's never been. Yeah.
Not in the movies.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's been saying that too.
The only odd color you've ever had in the movies is Sam Jackson's purple one.
Purple. Yep, I do like the yellow. And then this, like, random lady is like, there hasn't been anyone here for so long, and everything. And she's like, who are you? I'm Rey. Rey who? Everyone's very nosy in this movie.
Very.
Very nosy. And she, like, looks off in the distance, and you get the double Force ghosts of our lovely twins.
Yeah.
Luke and Leia Force Ghost. And she's like, Rey Skywalker. And everyone is so controversial on this.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind it. The whole Rey Skywalker thing, I don't mind that. But part of me thinks she should have said just Rey.
Just Rey. I think that would have been good too. A lot, even one of my viewers said that they liked that moment because they're adopted. And so taking on somebody else's name that's not your blood is very important for adopted people or unconventional families, which I thought was a great perspective.
That's true. That's true. I mean, Leia stayed in Organa.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even
hey, Rey could have said she's Rey Organa.
Yeah. Brea Organa.
God, I really wanted that once upon a time.
I know you did.
Oh, I was reaching. I was like, oh, Rey could be Brea, and that was Leia's mom, and
Yeah.
And then BB-8 and Rey look at the twin sons to end the series, which I think is a fabulous way to end the Skywalker saga.
Yeah, I thought it was a great way to end.
You actually see BB-8 in the sons. Did you notice that?
No.
Like, the two sons kind of mimic BB-8 for a second, and then they do the normal, like, Luke. Like,
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's you can kind of see it, but...
That's cool.
And then, that's that.
I thought it was a good end.
So did I.
I had a couple things, but...
It was rushed, and things were pushed a little bit heavily.
I kind of wish that JJ had done the middle one.
Yeah, I think it would have been much more consistent.
Just to keep it, going together.
Yeah.
But, we didn't get that, so...
Oh well, it will be interesting when I watch, like, all three together, just to see how they flow.
Yeah.
Will be interesting.
Well, as soon as you see Luke throw the saber over his shoulder, you're just going to say a Jedi's weapon deserves more respect.
I know, everyone's going to say that. What do you think about it only being Luke and Leia Force Ghost at the end?
I'm okay with that. I was hoping for more.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping for Hayden. I was hoping for Ewan. I was hoping for Yoda.
So I was at first until I processed my thoughts. I literally always say that Luke at the end of Return of the Jedi is like, who the fuck is that? When they replaced it with Hayden.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like maybe if they did too many, she would have been like she doesn't know who Anakin is. She doesn't know who any of these people are.
No.
The only one I question is Ben. With whatever connection they had, should Ben have been there too?
Yeah, that's...
It's like, the different perspectives. For like Rey and Ben's story, it probably would have made more sense to have Ben there. For the end of the Skywalker saga, maybe it was better to just end with the Skywalker twins.
Yeah. That was the two she was closest with. Mm-hmm. And, maybe Ben has to wait in Force Ghost waiting room to make sure that he's worthy.
Maybe. He's in a classroom with Anakin, is like, all right, here's where you didn't listen to me.
Yep.
My redemption, you didn't listen. All right, let's see some of thoughts. I read this in my video, but I wanted to read it on this too. It's a tweet about Rey being a Skywalker or whatever. And it says, the idea Palpatine won because Rey lived totally ignores the sequences where Leia saw her spirit and trained Rey, and Rey rejected her grandfather, became a Jedi, killed him, and took on the name of his enemies. They saved Rey and she saved them. And I just really liked that tweet.
That's good.
I really liked that. I had questions about Palpatine being back, if that alters Vader's redemption chosen one arc.
Oh, no. How did Anakin bring balance to the Force if Palpatine came back?
So, and someone said in my video, which is a great point, him bring balance to the Force was Order 66. Because balance means even on both sides. And maybe and then I was thinking maybe in the end of Return of the Jedi, his true mission was not to kill Palpatine, but to save Luke. They just went hand in hand. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, that works.
I don't know.
That does work.
Questionable. But the whole like chosen one balance thing is definitely debated because it's like to have balance it should be on both sides.
Yeah.
And the Jedi have a skewed version of that.
Yeah, I think balance to the Force is the wrong terminology.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. So Disney obviously did not have any of this planned out. I think that's one of their mistakes. It's just not gonna flow. I like some of the storylines they created and the characters that they created for this sequel series, but the fact that Disney didn't have it planned out hurts them.
Yeah.
And hurts the flow and everything to this.
Definitely.
I saw this thing that was like Kathleen Kennedy being like, yes, it's been planned from day one that Palpatine would be in the third one. And then cut to a clip from Ian McDiarmid saying they called him a year ago.
Yeah.
So it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah. I think this was bringing Palpatine back was a grab.
Course correction and attempt to
nostalgia.
Yes. The movie definitely wanted to, please fans, but I think it's safe to say that Palpatine was a little bit of damage control from Last Jedi. I like this movie.
I did.
I'm not as,
I do like it better than Last Jedi, but I don't hate Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Especially that deleted scene in Last Jedi.
With the village. That's a really good deleted scene.
That should have been in the movie. That was so funny. But I liked it better. I still think Force Awakens is the best of the sequel trilogy. Probably.
I'm going to have to, watch them all and debate that. I do kind of feel bad for JJ that, so much was put on him to, fix this. And I know people call him, Jar Jar Abrams, and I think that's mean.
No, I think he did a good job.
I think that's mean.
I just wish he'd have come back on the second one.
Yeah, there was something. I don't know.
Just because of everything that felt like such a course correction.
Yeah. Or if they were going to do Rian Johnson, then do it. Continue it.
Continue it.
Don't jump back. Because, there's a lot of people that actually like Last Jedi.
Yeah.
So if we wanted to do that, sure, it pissed some people off. But, just go that direction then. Yeah. Try it that instead of, just getting back to Force Awakens.
Very true.
I did see another tweet that people, saying, the Star Wars sequel trilogy should have been completely planned out, just like the original was. And it has a picture of Luke and Leia kissing. So, not entirely planned out. George Lucas got hella lucky with some of the stuff he did. Some of the stuff of Leia being Force sensitive before he knew she was Force sensitive.
Yeah.
Very lucky.
Well,
so, I mean...
See, that's the thing with the original trilogy, and even the prequel trilogy. George Lucas, it was his story.
Yeah.
And he flowed his story through. Mm-hmm. Even though people don't like the prequels...
It's consistent.
It's consistent.
Yeah.
And, of course, the original trilogy is... Even though, the Luke and Leia kiss and that kind of stuff... that kind of stuff wasn't really planned, but it still flows.
Yes.
And with this, it feels like you get this high mark of The Force Awakens, and then you drop down for The Last Jedi, and then you start climbing back up for Rise of Skywalker.
Because like you just said, it was all George Lucas's story. This one, you went JJ's story, Ryan's story, JJ's story.
Exactly.
And that's the problem.
That's where even though you had different directors in the original trilogy, you still had George Lucas there running the ship.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so it's almost like if they were gonna be... It's like they took a risk with Last Jedi, and then when it didn't pan out, that's when they went back. But they should have just went for it. And I guess that's Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah.
I want to know what George Lucas thinks about this sequel series. I don't think he's a fan.
I don't think he's a fan.
I don't think they invited him to the premiere.
Really?
Homeboy created all of this that's making your moolah right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, show some respect.
His world.
Yeah.
I mean, his response after Force Awakens was, well, the fans are going to love it.
That's a no.
Yeah.
That's a no.
It was a hard no.
No. Okay, so these are some of my comments on the video review that I just thought we could chat about briefly. Let's see. Sam Carter says, I want to point out that in The Last Jedi, when Luke starts to train Rey, when she starts to feel the Force and then she discovers the dark place, Luke says to her, resist it, Rey, but she goes right for it. Luke even says you went right for the dark. It's in that moment you can say that Luke realized Rey was a Palpatine, and Luke, not really sure of what to do with her at that point, he's already afraid and fearful of training anyone due to what happened with Ben Solo.
That makes perfect sense.
I think that makes perfect sense. I'm going with that.
No, I'll go with that too. Yep. That's good.
Yep. Next comment. While it's never going to be my favorite Star Wars movie, in the end there's more to like about The Rise of Skywalker than there is to hate. My first time watching it, I felt pretty conflicted walking out of the theater, but after seeing it the second time and knowing things I didn't like were coming, all the Palpatine things basically, I was able to enjoy the stuff I liked more. The new trio are gold in this movie. I'd still sit down and pay good money to watch a Finn Poe buddy movie or Disney Plus series. I agree.
I agree with that too.
I don't need them to fall in love. I just need them running around together, getting into adventures and being best buds. I adore Rey and always knew all the way back in The Force Awakens that she'd end up a Skywalker, so her ending works for me. Daisy killed it in this movie. Love her work, love her character. Don't love her being a Palpatine because that felt really forced, but Rey is Rey. She's awesome, that's all I needed. And like you, I broke when Chewie heard about Leia both times. I'm good when Leia dies, but when Chewie finds out, I'm a bawling mess.
No shit.
Not the best Star Wars movie, but a good one, and I look forward to watching it again and again. I think that's a pretty solid review.
No, that's good. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for this video. I loved your take on it all, literally all of it. How on earth do you remember all the scenes? Do you take a notebook during the film? I saw it twice. I watched Force Awakens, Last Jedi, then went to see Rise of Skywalker, and you're right, they feel slightly disconnected, especially Last Jedi. But I like this movie a lot. I love the ending a lot. When the binary sunset started playing right at the end, I nearly started crying.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I was disappointed in the end. I so wanted Ben to live and to see Rey and Ben together. Imagine what their child would have been like, Skywalker and Palpatine. Ben and Rey bringing back the Jedi Order. I feel like it's a missed opportunity. And a couple of us replied, after all the Kylo did in the films, all the people in Worlds He Destroyed, I think he always had to die, although I would have liked to have seen them together. And I put, it could have been an opportunity, but at the same time he did so many bad things. Rey would have to be able to look at the past. She watched him murder his father. Things to think about.
True.
I think the movie has some good moments, but at the end of the day, I didn't like it. Is like the new trilogy didn't justify its existence. I mean, it didn't explain the rushed decisions, and also the script is a mess. I'm a fan, but I don't like that it's all about nostalgia. I was like, not again, another rehash.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's like personal opinion because, like, I like nostalgia. But if people want fresh ideas, I know that with Force Awakens, everyone's like, oh, another Death Star.
Yeah.
So that was, like, a big problem for people.
I think that's one reason I really dug Rogue One.
Yeah, it's
it was different.
We have this one that says, I don't usually agree with every opinion I hear in a review, but your thoughts are parallel to mine exactly all the way through. Haha, thank you very much. Oh, and then she had put, also, I hate how Ben Solo has literally not a single line after the scene with Han. The only thing he says is ow when he's running to Rey and Palpatine. Would have liked Ben to have a few lines at least, and I agree with that. And I didn't realize it until she said that.
Right.
Really enjoyed the final Skywalker movie. I can see your points about certain parts being rushed. I was really pleased to see Harrison Ford and Wedge coming back. I've never really thought I would see the final movie. As the plan, there was no plan. There are so many things that could have been better. I absolutely agree with you about the trio of the original characters not being together. That was a total miss. About Leia dying, I think they did a great job. I was sad but pleased at the same time. I think I need to see it again. And then this review is longer, but it's talking about some of the old Legends stuff, Lost in Limbo. Says that the Wayfinder definitely looked like a holocron. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Things I didn't like. Palpatine's coming out of left field. This one also is one of the ones that says I really want to know who hooked up with Palpatine.
Yeah. No doubt.
Loved seeing Lando back, of course. Felt that Carrie got a good send-off. And then also goes into some of the mentions about being adopted and, like, taking the Skywalker name and stuff. So it was very, very detailed review that I agreed with.
Very good.
So, any closing thoughts on The Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I came out of it a lot better than the first time I saw it Solo.
You were not good with that one.
It was not good the first time with Solo. I'm better with it now. But I didn't have that feeling. So I do think the Palpatine stuff was rushed.
Yep.
And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But in all, I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
I still like The Force Awakens more.
Mm-hmm. I really need to watch Last Jedi before I concrete say, but I feel like I liked this movie better, even though I wasn't as judgmental in Last Jedi. And I think what really does it is that section of time when they start the fight on the Death Star all the way through Leia's death and Han talking to Ben. I love that section of movie so much for so many different reasons.
Yeah, it's really good.
So.
And Harrison Ford came back.
God, JJ is a miracle worker.
Oh, the minute he said, "Hey, kid."
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh my God!
It's Han. Oh my God.
That is too cool.
Okay, so to conclude this podcast episode, we've both just compiled our Star Wars movie ranking list, subject to change because I think both of ours just changed from a previous podcast.
Yeah, because we did this on the Last Jedi podcast.
The first Star Wars podcast we did, we
Yes.
ranked them, and it's changed.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe it will change again.
Everything's subject to change. So.
Yeah. All right, you going or I'm going?
Go ahead.
So my current ranking of the Star Wars films, Return of the Jedi is my favorite, followed by Empire Strikes Back, New Hope, Force Awakens, Revenge of the Sith, Rise of Skywalker, Attack of the Clones, Rogue One, Last Jedi, Solo, and Phantom Menace. I feel so bad putting stuff at the bottom.
Wow.
I feel so bad. But I like all of these movies. Let's just clarify that.
That's way different.
Oh,
Mine's different than that. My favorite is Return of the Jedi. Empire Strikes Back, The Force Awakens, Rogue One, New Hope, Revenge of the Sith, Rise of Skywalker, Solo, Last Jedi, Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace, and the Holiday Special. But if I had to put The Mandalorian in there...
Oh, that's different.
Ooh, that would be up there, because that's really good.
I'm sure it is.
But I just put it as a footnote at the bottom of the list.
So our top two are the same.
Yep.
I'm really jumping back and forth of how much I like the prequels because used to watch those on repeat so much.
Right.
So I don't know. We'll keep with that for a little bit. We'll see if I change. But my top ones are set though, for sure. It literally goes back in order for my top four. I think are dead set. Is Return of the Jedi, Empire, New Hope, Force Awakens. I think. I'm so...
My top five are still my top five. Jedi, Empire, Force Awakens, Rogue One, and New Hope.
Yeah.
The only reason New Hope drops down a little bit is because that one section on Tatooine is kind of slow.
Yeah.
And I put Sith next just because it's the story of him becoming Vader. Even though it's rushed,
I like Sith.
I like Sith also, but then I put Rise of Skywalker right after that. Mm-hmm. But then I've really come around on Solo, so then it's Solo, then The Last Jedi, then Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace, Holiday Special.
So I tried to kind of rank these on how much I liked them, obviously, but the ones I rewatch. And so that's why I'm thinking my bottom four is I hadn't seen Rogue One forever until rewatched it for our podcast.
Yeah. I watched it 2 weeks ago.
Last Jedi, I have not watched in forever. Minus, I think I watched some of the Leia clips because it's Leia.
Yeah.
But Solo, I have no idea the last time I watched Solo.
I watched it during the summer.
And Phantom Menace, I almost never go to. Because of, like you just said, slow bits, the Tatooine bits, the Padre stuff.
Yeah.
Is so slow to me. But I do still like them. I still like it. It has Duel of Fates. That lightsaber battle is probably one of the best lightsaber battles. You have a bunch of stuff. So it's I feel bad putting stuff at the bottom, but
No,
I always watch Return of the Jedi, Empire, New Hope. I've seen Force Awakens 6 million times. Revenge of the Sith I used to watch on repeat. And I see myself watching Rise of Skywalker more.
No, I would watch it more. I definitely would. I just, it was the day after we saw Rise of Skywalker, and I wanted to watch a Star Wars movie. And I watched Rogue One.
Yeah. You really like that one.
I really, really like that one. I think it's really well done. It's a great story, and it's great. And then you have the
But everybody died.
Vader at the end going ape shit.
I did a virtual experience of like that. It's fucking terrifying, okay? That was terrifying. And we had blasters. What the fuck are we gonna do with blasters against hallway Darth Vader?
Nothing.
We died. Alright. Well, I think that is our final Star Wars episode until something else comes out. Who knows if it will. There's talks of other trilogy series that are obviously not Skywalker related. This was the final Skywalker film.
Yep.
So you've been through this 3 times. I've been through it twice. I thought Revenge of the Sith was the last one I would see. And it came back. So you've done it
Yeah, I mean,
twice.
I thought it was over in 83.
Yep.
Then I thought it was over in 2005. And now it's over in 2019, and that was clear last year.
All the way last year. Happy
Yeah.
2020, everyone.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to us ramble about. As always, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on the movie and Star Wars in general. Thank you so much for listening.
Later.